When will the replacement for a key bridge in Surrey be ready to use? We're expecting an update from the province today on the new Pattullo.
Benefits and also one of the most important items, job security.
Some turbulent times ahead at the airport. Air Transat pilots issue strike notice and flights could be suspended today.
We want patients to feel secure. We apologize for the stress that this might cause.
And why pregnant patients at 2 Fraser Valley hospitals might have to find somewhere else to go to give birth. It's Monday, December 8th. Welcome to Your Morning Vancouver. I'm Carrie Adams. Well, drivers could soon be getting a clearer picture of when the new Pattullo Bridge will finally open. The province is giving an update today on the long-delayed replacement for the nearly 90-year-old span. Our Reagan Hasegawa is live at the South Approach in Surrey this morning for us. Good morning, Reagan. So what should commuters be watching out for?
Good morning, Carrie. The opening timeline for this project has been delayed several times already, but today commuters are looking for clarity as we hear from the province about where construction currently stands here and if that 2025 timeline they last gave is still holding. Now, this project was initially supposed to be open and ready to go by 2023, but then it was pushed back in 2024 due to a number of factors, including the supply chain problems, inflation, and longer work on the main tower, which is now completed, and the tallest bridge tower in BC. When complete, the $1.6 billion bridge will offer wider, safer lanes separated by a center median, plus dedicated walking and cycling paths. The 4-lane design has sparked debate. Surrey's mayor has said it won't keep up with growth, while New Westminster argues 6 lanes would overload its streets. The current Pattullo Bridge will remain open until the new one is ready, though there have been periodic closures for construction. So today's update will provide some clarity to drivers with the 2025 date fast approaching, only a few weeks left in December. It'll be interesting to see what the transportation minister has to say. Carrie?
Yep, a lot of people have been waiting a long time for that new bridge. Reagan Hasegawa joining us this morning. Thanks, Reagan. Well, there could be some turbulence ahead if you're trying to catch a flight. As CTV's Rahim Ladani explains, Air Transat will start suspending flights today as pilots prepare to go on strike.
On the heels of the holiday travel season, those planning to fly on Air Transat may have to look for a different flight as the company's pilots edge closer towards walking off the job.
We're ready, we're engaged, we're at the table, and we want a deal to make sure that our passengers can get to their destination.
The Airline Pilots Association says 99% of the airline's 750 pilots have voted in favor of a strike if necessary, saying management has left them no choice and that they've been without a new agreement since 2015.
We're trying to bring compensation up to date along with our pension, the benefits, and also one of the most important items, job security.
Transat AT Inc., which owns the leisure airline, calls the union's move reckless. Now a 72-hour notice is in effect, meaning the clock is ticking to get a deal done before the pilots can strike as early as December 10th. However, the airline says it has no choice but to start canceling flights beginning Monday, with a complete suspension of flights on Tuesday.
It's bringing, uncertainty as to how people are going to get down south and how they're going to be able to reach loved ones.
The two sides have been negotiating for nearly a year without success. The airline saying it has offered a 59% salary increase over 5 years and major improvements to pilots' working conditions.
It's in line with the gap that we felt that we needed to bridge to be in line with the Canadian market.
But without a bridge at the bargaining table, passengers are caught in the middle.
You're not going to be out of money if your flight gets canceled. You will get refunded. It may take some time. As you can understand, there's going to be a backlog of refunds if that is the case. But you will be out of a flight, and it may be difficult to find a flight at this time of year, unfortunately.
A potential travel nightmare if both parties can't come to an agreement quickly. Rahim Ladani, CTV News.
Well, 2 Lower Mainland hospitals are warning the public they'll be turning away pregnant patients going into labor on certain dates. It's due to a shortage of obstetricians. Both Maple Ridge Hospital and Peace Arch Hospital in White Rock are periodically implementing what's known as maternity diversion. That's mean patients in labor arriving on their own will be redirected to other hospitals, and ambulances will also take them elsewhere.
Want patients to feel secure. We apologize for the stress that this might cause. We are, one of the largest health authorities in the province. Certainly in terms of maternity deliveries, we are the largest across our 8 sites.
Fraser Health has reached out to patients whose birth plans involve the 2 hospitals. They also have a web page with the latest info on dates the diversions will be happening. Surrey police are investigating 2 vehicle fires and shots fired at a home that all happened within half an hour of each other. The gunfire pierced windows and siding at a house near 102nd Avenue and 125th Street yesterday morning. The 2 vehicle fires, meanwhile, were near 140 A Street and Regal Drive. It all happened between around 8:30 and 9 a.m. The Surrey Police Service says they're in the early stages of their investigation and working to determine if there are links to extortion or any other crimes. Well, looks like British Columbians are hitting the brakes on spending this holiday season. A new report from TD Bank says 38% plan to spend less this year, up 9% from 2024. Nearly half of those polled say they'll keep spending the same, but that's a sharp decrease from last year's total of 60%. Most say the main reason for cutting back is the cost of living. For those who are spending money here, the Buy Canadian sentiment remains strong, with almost 80% saying they intend to support local businesses this holiday season. Well, turning to sports now, the Vancouver Canucks will look to make it 2 wins in a row tonight when they host the Detroit Red Wings. The team is coming off a surprising 4-2 victory over the Minnesota Wild Saturday. Before that, the struggling squad dropped 7 of their previous 8 games. Puck drop from Rogers Arena is at 7 p.m. Currently, the Canucks sit last in the Pacific Division, 1 point behind the Calgary Flames. Looking for a little floral in your holiday decorations? Look no further than Fleur de Ville Noël. It's the 7th season of the stunning display of festive floral installations. They're inspired by the 12 days of Christmas and run until December 14th. You can see each lyric in a different display in downtown Vancouver with maps at the Fairmont Hotel, as well as Pacific Centre and the Hyatt Vancouver downtown. You can also simply take a stroll and see if you can find them all, from the partridge and a pear tree to the drummers. Beautiful. Well, the Shipyard's Christmas market is back for another year in North Vancouver. More than 140 European-inspired vendors are taking part this year.
Yeah, we have authentic German mulled wine. We have red, white, and apple cider. And it's all authentic recipes. And as you can see, the cauldrons are from Germany. Weekends are busy. Last night we had a huge lineup. It was a gong show, but it was good.
Stalls selling seasonal treats throughout the Shipyard saw people braving the rain with the help of mulled wine and hot cocoa this weekend. The market runs right up until Christmas Eve at 8 p.m. with Friday and Saturday nights going until 10 p.m. Oh my goodness. Meanwhile, a Christmas parade in Tennessee was interrupted by a wandering black bear. This happened Friday in the community of Gatlinburg. You can see the big animal lumbering down the middle of the road before making a turn near the crowd and then scampering away. No word what happened to the bear, but it was reportedly seen rummaging through a trash can later that night. Yikes. Okay. Coming out for some of the festivities perhaps there. Good morning, Steph.
Yeah, good morning. Wow, we definitely wanted to be a part of that parade. Incredible. I'm glad everybody's okay.
No kidding.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. A lot of festivities happening over the weekend, as you talked about the shipyards there. And you were watching the Carol ships, and I always forget every year that they are out on the water, but what a beautiful sight that is.
It's amazing, and the weather held out. It was just fantastic. I was at the Deep Cove Carol ships, but they are around different communities, so you're going to want to check your community and see when they pop by, because it's a fantastic event. Bonfires, bands, it's so fun, and a great way to just have a cheers with your neighbor, right? A hot chocolate cheers. So you're going to want some hot chocolate in the next several days. We are starting our work week with quite some active weather. In fact, we have so many warnings in place, it's going to take a while to tell you all about them, but already above our seasonal highs right now. So we're into very mild temperatures today. We're heading to a high of 13 degrees, which is well above where we should be, around 6 degrees. And actually, Tofino is the hot spot right now this hour across Canada, BC and Canada, at almost 11 degrees. So I'll try to tap in here with everything that's happening, starting with the south coast. We do have rainfall warnings in place, Howe Sound, Metro Vancouver, North and West Vancouver. We've got Coquitlam as well as Maple Ridge areas, all hugging those mountains, up to 70 millimeters of rainfall. We've got a series of storm systems. Even Victoria is under some wind warnings right now. These are all yellow zone, as you can see, along the coast, central coast, inland sections, expecting up to 120 millimeters of rainfall, 10 to 15 centimeters for the BC Peace, Fort Nelson. And now we have these weather statements in place for the southwesterly winds that are going to be very gusty across the interior region. So any traveling today, expect the highways passes to be very, very gusty. So get ready with those umbrellas. Hold on to them because it's even going to be windy right around here, around Metro Vancouver. So I've got more to tell you. That's all coming up with your 5-day carry.
Okay, thanks for that, Stephanie. Well, there is still a lot of emotional reaction this morning after a glorious Whitecaps run came to an end over the weekend.
Today we cry, but it will be proud tears.
We're going to hear from fans of the beautiful game and how much there is to look forward to with World Cup just months away now. Plus,
influenza does spread very aggressively across children.
And a spike in sickness, how this year's flu season is tightening its grip across the country. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. The pipeline agreement between the federal government and Alberta will be front and center in the House of Commons again this week. This is the Conservatives' look to push a vote on the deal. Here's CTV's Jeremy Sharon on the political strategy over a proposed pipeline to BC.
It's an agreement Ottawa and Alberta were both happy with. But now the federal Conservatives want to put Prime Minister Mark Carney's pipeline pledge to the test.
Liberals have to unify behind the words that they promised in the MOU they signed.
A Conservative opposition motion expected in the House of Commons Tuesday, shared online by the Conservative leader, shows they'll use almost the same wording as the agreement between Ottawa and Alberta and force the House to vote on it.
But the interesting part here is this is essentially Pierre Poilievre and his party kind of endorsing the MOU in its own way. I don't actually think this is the gotcha moment that Pierre Poilievre thinks it is.
Asked whether this means he supports it, Poilievre just said Conservatives support a pipeline.
Mark Carney has got to stop speaking out of both sides of his mouth, stop saying one thing in Alberta and the opposite in British Columbia, and get his Liberal MPs to vote unanimously in favor of approving a pipeline to the Pacific.
The vote next week will come as Carney's government already faces political backlash from the deal. Stephen Guilbeault resigned from cabinet over it, and 2 of the government's climate advisors quit this week.
The MOU was the final straw, absolutely, but this isn't the first step that we've seen to the suspension, the delay, the dismantling of climate policy in Canada.
Tuesday's vote will be on a Conservative motion, of course, but also indirectly a test of support for the government's pipeline agreement. And a failure by the Liberals to whip the vote could be a political blow for the party.
Well, the number of children home sick with the flu is soaring, with an early flu season to blame. And in some provinces, it's prompting health officials to once again encourage families to take precautions. Here's CTV's Alison Bamford on the latest influenza outlook.
Every year, the chill of winter sets in, closely followed by colds and flu.
We expect this to put some pressures on the healthcare system and also in the community as well as schools.
The flu is already keeping Saskatchewan kids away from class, with test positivity gradually climbing. School absenteeism in the province reached more than 12% last week.
The concern is that the coverage for children getting the flu vaccine is relatively low.
A trend seen across the country, including at this Calgary pharmacy.
What we've been seeing is less children coming in for immunizations this year. I'm not sure what's going on, if it's vaccine fatigue still left over from COVID, or if it's a bit of miscommunication or misunderstanding.
Pediatricians in Alberta say influenza is spreading faster and earlier than in recent years, an indication this could be a challenging winter.
This is the worst part of the year for pediatrics.
Further east, Ontario and Quebec are battling a flood of flu cases. In November, the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario faced test positivity numbers 8 times what they were last year, resulting in twice as many hospitalizations. They say most kids seeking care haven't been vaccinated.
Influenza does spread very aggressively across children. And this speaks to the importance of primary prevention of it.
Despite this year's vaccine being a possible mismatch for the mutating influenza strain, doctors say it's still Canada's best bet at protection.
It does do a great job at preventing severe infections.
Doctors say there's still time to get the flu shot before transmission ramps up over the holiday travel season. The vaccination takes about 2 weeks before it starts working. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, as you pick out your Christmas tree for the holiday season, we're learning about one tree harvest that's helping to mitigate wildfires.
I have a very specific type of tree that I want in mind.
How this Christmas tradition is working to lower the threat in a national park. We'll have that still to come. But first.
Today we cry, but it will be proud tears.
Well, after a heartbreaking weekend for the Whitecaps, how there's much to look forward to when it comes to the beautiful game in BC. That story's coming up next.
Give your workplace a boost with a CTV Your Morning Vancouver One Coffee Break. Enter now for your chance to win a variety of delicious K-Cup coffee pods and a brand new Keurig coffee machine courtesy of One Coffee. Each month, CTV community host Mona Mahmood will visit the winning workplace to deliver the exciting package. Enter online at ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Good luck.
Well, a warning now, this video may be too cute for you to handle. So this is Taro, the snow monkey, seeing snow for the first time. So he was born in June, a time of year not known for snow. He stuck close to his mom at first as he got used to the weather, but eventually warmed up to it. They need to. They're called snow monkeys for a reason, because they are able to withstand colder climates. They have thick fur.
I love how red their little faces are.
Yeah, very, very, very cute.
Very cute, absolutely. Not so cute out there, though, Carrie, this morning. It's, yeah, as you can see here, we are getting slammed here with a stormy frontal system. The northern sections are going to be hit with very cold air and very gusty winds. In fact, much of the interior is under now some wind statements, which I will show you coming up. So many warnings in place, including Metro Vancouver, Howe Sound, areas around North and West Vancouver, out towards Maple Ridge, Coquitlam, expecting potentially up to 70 millimeters of rainfall through today and into tonight. So here's a look at this system, and we do have wind warnings in place as well. These are all orange warnings, and that's for Victoria area, where we're going to be seeing those gusting winds potentially up to 90 kilometers per hour. So we have a lot to talk about. More on those warnings coming up, but today's high 13 degrees. We are well above where we should be, around that 6-degree mark, very close to where we broke that record in 2015 at 14 degrees. And sundown tonight at 4:14. Best news I can tell you is that by tonight, this heavy rain will taper off. We're going to see the rain really amp up midday. It is going to be gusty around the water. We've got many marine wind warnings in place. So even for us here, South Coast, expecting gusty winds. Squamish 10 degrees, Whistler 7. It's just going to be heavy rain on deck for the day. And then by tonight, we're into some overcast skies, and we get a little bit of a pause between systems tomorrow. So as you can see, it's an on and off series of storms coming our way. It's going to be a very wet one and windy today. Carrie?
Okay. We'll just go inside and put our head under the covers.
Hibernate. Hibernate.
Thanks, Steph. Well, soccer fans in BC are feeling the agony of defeat this week as the Vancouver Whitecaps lost the MLS Cup to Inter Miami. But as CTV's Penny Daflos shows us, they are managing to keep their soccer hopes high thanks to next year's World Cup.
20,000 soccer fans experienced the ultimate emotional roller coaster at BC Place Stadium. And one of the biggest viewing parties Vancouver has ever seen.
The Western Conference champions.
As the Whitecaps faced Inter Miami for the MLS Cup in Florida. After a grim start to the game, jubilation at a tying goal. Before it all came crashing down. Each painful moment was etched on the faces of these soccer superfans.
Tough game to swallow.
Many had a favorite they'd been rooting for. And after experiencing the joy and pain of professional sports, appreciation for the experience.
Good cheers, good support, good love.
This season has been absolutely amazing watching them just evolve and really come together as a team. They played their hearts out.
Today we cry, and but it will be proud tears, and we'll wipe them away. And we'll come back.
Canadian fans of the beautiful game are now counting down to the next big event, the World Cup in June. FIFA has now unveiled the full schedule for the tournament, including Toronto, which will host the first match with Team Canada against the winner of Europe's UEFA tournament. The other teams who will hit the pitch there are Ghana, Panama, Germany, Cote d'Ivoire, Croatia, Senegal, and a team yet to be determined. Vancouver will first play host to Australia against a European opponent to be determined. Then Team Canada, Qatar, New Zealand, Egypt, Switzerland, and Belgium will get a chance to show their skills on the country's west coast.
When you talk about best case scenario for Canada, it wasn't best, it wasn't worst, and they should be able to get out of the group here at a home World Cup.
A one-time Olympic venue, BC Place is now undergoing renovations to welcome back soccer fans for the World Cup, as well as Whitecaps fans trying to look at the bright side.
Next year, we'll fight harder.
Penny Duffloss, CTV News, Vancouver.
Yeah, soccer is really having a moment right now with the success of the Whitecaps and now with World Cup just months away. Are you getting pumped up about it?
I am getting pumped up about it, but it's these highs and lows, right? It's just this roller coaster ride, but at least, yes, something exciting to look forward to get us through these dark months.
Well, the World Cup is going to make our city extremely busy.
Sure is.
And it's going to change a lot. We were just talking earlier. What does that mean for getting around? I mean, are we going to be able to get to work? I mean, what does that look like? So lots will change over the next few weeks.
To see.
Yeah. Speaking of World Cup, we are getting an update this morning from officials. What we're expected to learn as the host committee shares details on how prepared the city of Vancouver is. We'll have more on that ahead. Also, a self-driving taxi company has issued a voluntary software recall after a series of close calls involving school buses. We'll explain. And
good morning from Surrey. We're expecting an update today on the long-awaited new Pattullo Bridge. When will drivers get to go across the new span? Got the update coming up on Your Morning Vancouver.
Thanks for joining us. A heads up for anyone who relies on the Pattullo Bridge. Another key update is coming today on its long-awaited replacement. The province is set to lay out where things stand and how close we might be to driving on the new span. Reagan Hasegawa is live at the south approach on the Surrey side for us this morning. Good morning, Reagan. So after years of shifting timelines, what are officials expected to address today?
Good morning, Carrie. Today is all about clarity for commuters. The opening timeline was pushed from 23 to 2024 and then to 2025. And many people were eagerly watching today's press conference to find out how soon they'll be able to drive across the new span that is directly behind me. So the last update from the province was that 2025 target that we now know that's only a few weeks away. That came after delays to supply chain issues, inflation, and extended work on the bridge's main tower. That tower is now complete, marking a major milestone for the $1.6 billion project. Once finished, the crossing will feature wider lanes with a center median and new pathways for cyclists and pedestrians. But the design remains a point of tension. Surrey's mayor says 4 lanes won't meet the needs of the rapidly growing city, while the new Westminster has long argued it can't support the traffic load of a 6-lane bridge. Until the replacement is ready, the aging Pattullo will stay in service with occasional closures as construction wraps up. So, as I mentioned, this is an active massive construction site this morning. You can see there are workers in here behind me, and that will be part of today's update. How realistic is that 2025 deadline with construction still underway? Carrie?
Yeah, it looks like lots going on in behind you there. Reagan Hasegawa joining us this morning. Thanks for that, Reagan. Well, just as the busy holiday travel season gets underway, there's some turbulence ahead. Air Transat will start suspending flights today as pilots prepare to go on strike.
We're trying to bring compensation up to date along with our pension, the benefits, and also one of the most important items, job security.
The union representing the airline's 750 pilots issued a 72-hour strike notice yesterday, setting the stage for a strike as early as Wednesday. The two sides have been negotiating for nearly a year without success. Air Transat says it's offered a 59% salary increase over 5 years and major improvements to pilots' working conditions.
And with the gap that we felt that we needed to bridge to be in line with the Canadian market.
Air Transat says some flights will be suspended today, with all being put on hold tomorrow. Passengers looking to make changes to their current travel plans will be offered a credit from the airline. Well, some snowbirds are rethinking their travel plans this year with confusion over new U.S. border crossing rules.
It was good, except for I got to get fingerprinted, but I mean, the picture was okay, but the fingerprinted thing was a little bit excessive, I think.
Angela and Lee Forbear say their latest crossing in November was anything but routine. Lee was fingerprinted, his photo taken, and he was told to fill out an I-94 form in order to enter the U.S. That form is supposed to be filled out by Canadians who are going to the States for more than 30 days. However, some who have already traveled to the States and filled out the correct form say they didn't need it. With the confusion and the changing political climate, many Canadians say they are scrapping U.S. travel plans altogether. Well, to the latest on the trade war between Canada and the U.S., U.S. President Donald Trump is heaping praise on his relationship with Canada and the Prime Minister, but has not committed to restarting any trade talks.
I mean, the problem is Canada makes a lot of things that we don't need because we make them also. But we'll work it out. Look, Canada's a special place, and they really are good at ice hockey, aren't they?
When asked about the state of trade talks with Canada, Trump said, quote, "We'll work it out." Trump met with Prime Minister Mark Carney and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on the sidelines of the FIFA 2026 draw on Friday. Well, meanwhile, we are getting a World Cup update today. The FIFA host committee is set to provide more details on Vancouver preparations and progress made leading up to the big tournament. The host committee, BC Place representatives, and members from the Tsleil-Waututh Nation will all be in attendance. They will outline the progress made and what the key priorities are for 2026 leading up to the tournament. Vancouver is set to host 7 games for the World Cup in June, with at least 2 involving Team Canada. Well, turning now to new fallout after a series of close calls involving Waymo self-driving taxis. The company is now filing a voluntary software recall. ABC's Trevor Ault has the latest.
This morning, Waymo is tapping the brakes on some of the software in their self-driving vehicles after a series of close calls in Texas. Some of the robo-taxis have been seen performing illegal maneuvers, like this one passing stopped school buses. The Austin School District says this has happened at least 19 times since the start of the school year, some of them with children crossing the road.
They don't need to be operating on our roadways.
With federal investigators looking into the issue, Waymo says it's issuing a voluntary software recall, saying in a statement, holding the highest safety standards means recognizing when our behavior should be better. We will continue analyzing our vehicle's performance and making necessary fixes. An executive spoke with our Jacqueline Lee last week.
We've already analyzed the situation and implemented fixes so that such situations are much less likely to occur in the future.
Waymo says their cars have already been safer than human drivers, a 5-fold reduction in injury-related crashes, but they've still had controversial incidents.
And as you heard from that executive, Waymo says last month they identified the issue that led to these school bus incidents and they fixed it. They do note that there have been no injuries in any of those incidents. Trevor Ault, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, April wine fans, this is the moment you've been waiting for.
What would you do if it happened to you? She's so cool.
3 of the band's founding members have released a new track called She's So Cool. It's the first track Jim, David, and Richie Henman have put out together in more than 50 years. It's actually a 25-year-old tune that Jim rediscovered and retooled. Now that they're recording again, the cousins say this is just the beginning of their reunion. Okay, so one of my favorite songs of all time is April Wine's Just Between You and Me. You know the one.
I know the one, but I'm actually really excited because I think they wrote this song about us. Because we're so cool. Oh, she's so cool.
Oh, of course.
You're cool,
yes.
I'm cool.
Makes perfect sense.
It's pretty cool out there, too. But yeah, that's exciting. Very exciting stuff. Absolutely. I love when bands like that release new music.
A little bit of nostalgia.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have some nostalgia for some sunshine this week. That is for sure, especially today. So many warnings in place. Parts of Metro Vancouver, in fact, under rainfall warnings. We've got Victoria under wind warnings. A lot to tell you about. So right now we're sitting at 9 degrees. That's already above seasonal for where we're heading today, a high of 13 degrees. Here's a look at some of these warnings across the province. So it's snow up in the BC Peace, up to 15 centimeters. Heavy rain along the central coast, inland sections. For us, it's about up to 70 millimeters. Howe Sound, sea to sky. All of the mountain passes expecting very gusty winds. We've got now these wind advisories in place where we're going to be seeing these southwesterlies gusting up to 80 kilometers per hour through much of the interior Cariboo region. So very gusty conditions. The winds are just starting to pick up, but we will see that midday potentially for us here out of the southeast, gusting up to about 50 kilometers per hour. So it's a wet and windy one ahead, and we'll get a little bit of a break tonight when the rain tapers and we get a pause between these storm systems and your 5-day coming up, Carrie. Let's go over to Mona.
All right, well, that is Sea Lion for Good Morning from the Vancouver Aquarium, where we are here to learn all about their holiday programming this time of year. And we're doing that this morning with interpreter Samuel. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having us. I mean, school's almost out for winter break, so we got to keep the kids entertained, and this is a great learning opportunity to come to the aquarium. Why?
Oh, if I do say so myself, it is the best, and they agree with me. Here at the Vancouver Aquarium, there are so many different animals. Over 65,000 different animals call this place their home, and so many different marine mammals that we are obviously getting to chat with right now. Some stellar sea lions, harbor seals, fur seals, sea otters. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, it's such an amazing sensory experience getting to come here as opposed to just learning about something through a screen or a movie or a book. You get to come here and hear the animals. You get to come here and learn about them in person. You get to go up to the habitats, all the different animals in there as well. There's sloths even.
2 of them.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Now, you guys also work in super close conjunction with the Marine Mammal Rescue Society.
Yes.
Tell us about the work that happens there.
Yeah, so the Vancouver Aquarium Marine Mammal Rescue Society is one of a kind. It is the only dedicated marine mammal hospital in Canada. And through that, over the years, we have successfully rescued, rehabilitated, and released hundreds and hundreds of different marine animals, mammals, from harbor seals to stellar sea lions to California sea lions to sharks, turtles, porpoises, everything that can possibly be rescued, rehabilitated, and released. We do our very best, and they work extremely hard throughout the year.
And again, they agree.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about this habitat that we're standing in front of and who's in here.
Yeah, so right now we are on top of kind of the BC Wild Coast habitat, and particularly in here, we have 2 different sea lions, a stellar sea lion and a California sea lion. We got Senor Cinco here, who is one of our absolute favorites, pretty much our family. He was rescued a few years back on Spanish Banks on Cinco de Mayo, where he was found pretty unresponsive due to an interaction with a fisherman that didn't wind up well, and unfortunately is blind. So people like us get to work with him and give him the very best life we possibly can with that in mind.
Well, Samuel, I've had a great time so far getting to know more about the Vancouver Aquarium and their holiday splash campaign, which happens all the way through Christmas. And coming up next hour, we're going to go meet Scuba Claus. So stick around for that. And in the meantime, go online and grab your tickets. Just like they said.
Just like they said. Thanks, Mona. Well, marine researchers off the coast of California have spotted something rare. What's different about this octopus-like creature that will have you counting? We'll have that a bit later. But first,
I have a very specific type of tree that I want in mind.
as you pick up your Christmas tree for the holiday season, we're learning about one tree harvest that's helping to mitigate wildfires in a national park. Stay with us. Well, with just a week until Parliament breaks for the holidays, Prime Minister Mark Carney's budget is still stuck in the House of Commons. And according to a new survey, once it gets through, Canadians don't see how it will help them financially. CTV's Jeremy Sharon explains.
It's a book filled with big promises, but federal budget 2025 doesn't do enough to help Canadians with their finances, according to a new survey.
The budget has a long-term vision for jobs. Maybe it's put a spotlight on the fact that good economic policy might not make for good politics.
A new Nanos survey conducted for CTV News shows less than 1 in 5 Canadians think the government's fiscal plan will help them financially. In fact, just over 1 in 3 believe the budget will in some way worsen their personal finances.
That's not a very great number for a government that is looking to build confidence in Canadians who are struggling to pay for the bills.
Meanwhile, the budget bill itself is far from becoming law yet.
It's a minority parliament, so getting legislation passed is a challenge.
The official legislation is still stuck in the House of Commons being debated and has several hurdles to cross still, with only a week left on the sitting schedule this year.
You can't actually start to move on those provisions. You can't get the second reading vote. You can't get it passed into law. And so that's going to start to affect real things. Measures that were planned to be implemented in January might not.
The honourable member. Political roadblock the Liberals could continue to face in the new year, even though Green Party leader Elizabeth May is leaving the door open to supporting the Liberal government in the future, despite recently saying her vote in favour of the budget was a mistake.
I'm a bridge builder, and I never say never.
May says her vote moving forward would require a change in policies.
I can't vote confidence on the current policies, period.
And so the Liberals seem poised to start 2026 how they're finishing 2025, fighting to get a major piece of legislation through the House of Commons, and without a sure way to survive the next confidence vote when it comes.
Well, in Saskatchewan, people are exploring the best Christmas tree options at an annual event in one of the national parks. But it's not just about the holidays. As CTV's Alison Bamford explains, that perfect tree can also help reduce the risk of wildfires.
It's a trip the Barrett family makes every year. Trudging through the snow with their heads up.
There's like a few boulder spots, so that'll be against the window.
Hunting for the perfect Christmas tree.
That's the thing that makes this part hard, is because I have a very specific type of tree that I want in mind.
A search rooted in family tradition that they started 3 years ago.
25, 30 feet.
Volume, shape, and size are at the top of their wish list.
And being able to get it home on our little truck is another thing that's very important for us right now.
The public can harvest the trees from the Waskesiu Community Fuel Break, about 200 kilometers north of Saskatoon.
That's an area around Waskesiu where coniferous trees are removed, as they're more flammable than something like an aspen tree.
Officials say removing trees from the fuel break reduces the wildfire risk. This summer, Parks Canada issued pre-evacuation alerts for the area. Smoke blanketed the community as a nearby wildfire burned about 30 kilometers away.
In the event of a wildfire, having those trees thinned out would slow the speed of an approaching wildfire and help give time for the community to prepare.
And the Barretts appreciate giving back to a community they've grown to love.
Understanding the responsibility for the community management definitely gives us more confidence coming and doing this sort of thing, where we wouldn't typically want to disturb nature in this manner.
Last year, 160 trees were harvested before the holidays, but with the number of young trees in the area, officials say supply for the annual event will continue to grow.
As we're getting kids coming along here, we have a young girl coming in February. We're excited to keep the tradition sort of alive.
For many years to come. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Waskesiu.
Well, many apps are using data to give you a look at your year in review. Still to come, Google has unveiled its trending searches of the year. Jimmy Kimmel has your late laugh. That's still to come. On this day in 1966, singer Sinead O'Connor was born in Dublin. She rose to fame with this song and made headlines for her political activism. She passed away 2 years ago at the age of 56.
Welcome back to Your Morning Vancouver. Happy Monday. It's 6:52 a.m. on a very wet morning, a very wet start thanks to the system here. We have multiple warnings in place. Rainfall, in fact, for parts of Metro Vancouver, including Howe Sound. We've got Maple Ridge, Coquitlam, North and West Vancouver expecting up to 70 millimeters of rainfall. It's going to get very gusty today. Many warnings across the entire province, all in the yellow zone. I will show you those coming up. Temperatures on the mild side, especially for us here. We're going to be well above seasonal as far as our temperatures are concerned, already at 9. Seasonal 6. We're heading to 13 degrees. Tofino's already at 11. Tofino has been the hot spot across BC and Canada this past hour. So very mild conditions even through Prince George. The Caribou are all above freezing right now. So heavy rain on deck. There it is. 10.6 degrees is that hot spot for Tofino for this hour. And we're looking at mild conditions into those double digits. Heavy rain, very gusty. We're going to be seeing those winds out of the southwest or the interior. For us here, it'll be coming out of the southeast. So expecting those winds to really pick up midday and into the afternoon. Squamish 10 degrees. Howe Sound, Sea to Sky Highway. It's going to be very gusty. So hold on to those umbrellas today, especially as those winds pick up. Sadly, our only break is on Tuesday. It'll be on and off rain, but we have a series of systems. So get ready for some soaking days ahead for the week ahead. But today, yeah, very wet and windy. Many apps are using data to give you a look at your year in review. Now, Google has unveiled its trending searches of the year. Here's Jimmy Kimmel with your late laugh.
You know, I was at Dry Bar this morning getting a blowout. We have a party after the show. And I learned that according to Google, for the year 2025, I was the 3rd most trending person in the world. I'm not sure if it's an honor because #1 was a singer named David who spells his name with a 4 instead of an A, who is a suspect in a murder, which I guess got him bumped up. #2 is Kendrick Lamar, who murdered Drake this year at halftime of the Super Bowl. And then it's me, even though I haven't been involved in any murders. I just want to say I couldn't have done this. None of this would ever have happened without the support of loyal viewers like President Trump, who has done so much this year to raise awareness of our show. Thank you, Mr. President, for making me #3 in the world. Somehow I finished ahead of the Pope. Eat it, Leo. You know, I saw my cousin Sal showed me one of these websites where you can bet on anything, and they had me at even money like 2 weeks ago to finish in the top 5 searched, and I was like, well, no way I'm going to be in the top 5, so I bet against myself, and I bet a sizable amount of money, and I lost. So now when my kids don't get a go-kart for Christmas, I can say it's not Santa's fault, it's Google's fault. It's your fault, really. But let that be a lesson to young people. Never bet against yourself.
All right. He's enjoying his newfound fame, being #3 on Google search list. Wow.
Hardly newfound. He's obviously been on the charts for a long time, but definitely this year was a comeback year for him, for sure.
Well, I was at Dave Chappelle last night, and there wasn't a seat in the house in Rogers Arena. It was insane.
I didn't even know he was performing there.
It was kind of caught me off guard, too. She was telling me about this earlier. I hadn't heard that he was here.
Wow.
So.
It was a good one.
And we'll never know because there's no phones there to record it, so it wasn't on social media this morning.
What did you hear? What did you hear? She can't repeat it.
I can't repeat it.
Crazy year.
Well, it is award season. Are many Canadians nominated? Still to come, the nominations for the 83rd Annual Golden Globes have been handed out. What we know just ahead. Also, an update on the new Pattullo Bridge is expected today when drivers can expect the massive and long-delayed replacement to be done.
There
are people that have booked flights. It is a responsibility for Air Transat to look after these passengers.
A potential travel nightmare. Air Transat will begin canceling flights today after pilots issued a strike notice ahead of the busy holiday travel season. Stay with us. When will you be able to drive on the new Pattullo Bridge? We're expecting an update this morning on the massive and often delayed project.
And also one of the most important items, job security.
Trouble brewing at the airport right before the holiday rush. Air Transat pilots issue strike notice and flights could soon be suspended.
The message is clear.
I'll be seeing you very soon.
Not if I see you first.
The nominations for the Golden Globes are out. Which top films are being honored? It's Monday, December 8th. Welcome to Your Morning Vancouver. I'm Carrie Adams. Well, drivers could soon get a clearer picture of when the new Pattullo Bridge will finally open. The province is giving an update today on the long-delayed replacement for the nearly 90-year-old span. Our Reagan Hasegawa is live at the South Approach in Surrey for us this morning. Good morning, Reagan. People have been waiting a long time for this span. What should commuters watch out for today?
Good morning, Carrie. Well, despite a promised timeline of opening by the end of 2025, which is now just weeks away, this is still very much an active construction zone. That's why I've gained a new accessory since the last time we spoke, when there was quite active construction going in behind me. Right now, though, commuters are really looking for clarity on when they'll be able to take that new crossing just behind me. So as I mentioned, this project has been delayed numerous times. It was originally expected to open back in 2023, then pushed to 2024, and last May the province said it was slated for 2025. Officials point to supply chain problems, inflation, and longer work on the main tower, which now finished and actually the tallest bridge tower in all of BC. When complete, the $1.6 billion bridge will offer wider, safer lanes separated by a center median, plus dedicated walking and cycling paths. The 4-lane design has sparked debate. Surrey's mayor has said it won't keep up with growth, while New Westminster's mayor argues 6 lanes would overload its streets. The current Pattullo Bridge will remain open while the new one is getting completed, though there have been periodic closures for construction. So today's update should give us a clearer sense on whether the province is going to meet that 2025 deadline. But as many commuters who take the old bridge know, it is much needed here. Driving across those 4 very narrow lanes can be quite treacherous, especially in the rainy conditions like we've seen this morning. Carrie.
No doubt. Okay, Reagan Hasegawa joining us this morning. Thanks for that, Reagan. Well, on that note, don't forget your umbrella. It is going to be a wet and stormy day for much of Metro Vancouver. Environment Canada is warning that upwards of 70 millimeters of rain could fall in parts of Metro Vancouver by this evening. That includes North Shore, the Tri-Cities, Ridge Meadows, and Howe Sound. There's also an advisory in place for the Sea to Sky Highway. We'll have more coming up in our weather report with Stephanie Florian in a couple of minutes. Well, there could be some turbulence ahead if you're trying to catch a flight. As CTV's Rahim Ladani explains, Air Transat will start suspending flights today as pilots prepare to go on strike.
On the heels of the holiday travel season, those planning to fly on Air Transat may have to look for a different flight as the company's pilots edge closer towards walking off the job.
We're ready, we're engaged, we're at the table, and we want a deal to make sure that our passengers can get to their destination.
The Airline Pilots Association says 99% of the airline's 750 pilots have voted in favor of a strike if necessary, saying management has left them no choice and that they've been without a new agreement since 2015.
We're trying to bring compensation up to date along with our pension, the benefits, and also one of the most important items, job security.
Transat AT Inc., which owns the leisure airline, calls the union's move reckless. Now a 72-hour notice is in effect, meaning the clock is ticking to get a deal done before the pilots can strike as early as December 10th. However, the airline says it has no choice but to start canceling flights beginning Monday, with a complete suspension of flights on Tuesday.
It's bringing, uncertainty as to how people are going to get down south and they're going to be able to reach loved ones.
The two sides have been negotiating for nearly a year without success. The airline saying it has offered a 59% salary increase over 5 years and major improvements to pilots' working conditions.
It's in line with the gap that we felt that we needed to bridge to be in line with the Canadian market.
But without a bridge at the bargaining table, passengers are caught in the middle.
You're not going to be out of money if your flight gets canceled. You will get refunded. It may take some time. As you can understand, there's going to be a backlog of refunds if that is the case. But you will be out of a flight, and it may be difficult to find a flight at this time of year, unfortunately.
A potential travel nightmare if both parties can't come to an agreement quickly. Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
Well, 2 Lower Mainland hospitals are warning the public they'll be turning away pregnant patients going into labor on certain dates. It's due to a shortage of obstetricians. Both Maple Ridge Hospital and Peace Arch Hospital in White Rock are periodically implementing what's known as maternity diversion. That means patients in labor arriving on their own will be redirected to other hospitals, and ambulances will also take them elsewhere.
We want patients to feel secure. We apologize for the stress that this might cause. We are, one of the largest health authorities in the province. Certainly in terms of maternity deliveries, we are the largest across our 8 sites.
Fraser Health has reached out to patients whose birth plans involve those 2 hospitals. They also have a webpage with the latest info on dates and diversions. Well, looks like British Columbians are hitting the brakes on spending this holiday season. A new report from TD Bank says 38% plan to spend less this year, up 9% from 2024. Nearly half of those polled say they will keep spending the same, but that's a sharp decrease from last year's total of 60%. Most say the main reason for cutting back is the cost of living. For those who are spending money, the Buy Canadian sentiment remains strong, with almost 80% saying they intend to support local businesses this holiday season. Well, the nominations for the 83rd Annual Golden Globes have been handed out this morning, and the big frontrunner is no surprise.
Best performance in a stand-up comedy or on television. Bill Maher. Is anyone else seeing this? HBO Max.
Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another has been nominated for 6 awards, including Best Director. The Norwegian drama Sentimental Value has also been nominated for 6 awards. Meanwhile, Korean-Canadian director Maggie Kang earned a nod for Best Animated Feature for her debut film, K-Pop Demon Hunters. Well, turning to sports now, the Vancouver Canucks will look to make it 2 wins in a row tonight when they host the Detroit Red Wings. The team is coming off a surprising 4-2 victory over the Minnesota Wild on Saturday. Before that, the struggling squad dropped 7 of their previous 8 games. Puck drop from Rogers Arena is at 7 p.m. Currently, the Canucks sit last in the Pacific Division, 1 point behind the Calgary Flames. The Shipyard's Christmas market is back for another year in North Vancouver. More than 140 European-inspired vendors are taking part this year.
Yeah, we have authentic German mulled wine. We have red, white, and apple cider. And it's all authentic recipes. And as you can see, the cauldrons are from Germany. Weekends are busy. Last night we had a huge lineup. It was a gong show, but it was good.
Stalls selling seasonal treats throughout the Shipyard saw people braving the rain with the help of mulled wine and hot cocoa this weekend. The market runs right up until Christmas Eve at 8 p.m. with Friday and Saturday nights going until 10. Well, have you ever seen an octopus with only 7 arms? That's exactly what explorers with the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute recently spotted in the waters off California. Now, researchers say the Halifron atlanticus is a known species. The 7-armed octopus, also known as the blob octopus, or sometimes called septopus, is one of the 2 largest known species of octopus. It's a very rare sight, as researchers have only laid eyes on it 4 times in some 40 years of ocean exploration. Okay, For some reason, I'm thinking blob octopus is a more fitting name because I actually don't see any legs on that thing. Do you?
I wouldn't even know it was an octopus if I was diving or, you know.
Right.
It looks like a blob, so there you go. They named that one correctly.
I guess the arms are tucked right in, and if you were counting, you would only see 7 there. So very interesting.
Very interesting.
Very rare.
Very rare. Very interesting and very rare. Not so rare for us here on the South Coast. We are looking at a very wet week ahead, starting today, wet and windy. We do have some rainfall warnings in place, yellow zone rainfall warnings, areas really around Coquitlam, North Vancouver, West Vancouver, all the way out to Maple Ridge. We could be seeing up to 70 millimeters of rainfall up Howe Sound, Sea to Sky corridor. If you're doing any traveling up to Whistler, get ready for some very, very heavy rain, especially midday today. Victoria is under some wind warnings right now, expecting those gusty winds out of the southeast up to about 90 kilometers per hour. Central Coast, inland sections, coastal sections, heavy, heavy rain and snow coming in at 15 centimeters. We've also got these winds out of the southwest through the interior, so those are statements in place. Get those umbrellas ready. We have a very soggy day ahead of us. It'll taper tonight, so we'll get a break. Overcast skies tonight, your 5-day coming up, and I'll let you know if there's any more breaks at all coming our way. Back to you.
All right. Thanks for that, Steph. Well, with the holiday season underway, many people are trying to get their kids to put their devices away and spend more time with family.
Turn screens off. All right, let's hear the ball.
Well, still to come, how parents are getting creative to get their kids presents this Christmas. We'll have that still to come. But first, millions of Canadians will struggle to put a festive meal on the table this year. We're going to hear how the food bank is coping with increased demand coming up after the break. Well, food is a big part of holiday celebrations, but millions of Canadians will struggle to put a festive meal on the table at this time of year. With the cost of living continuing to rise, food insecurity has reached new heights, and food banks have been struggling to keep up. Joining us now is Tor Smith, Director of Philanthropy at the Greater Vancouver Food Bank. Tor, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
And so we hear about this time of year that is when demand really reaches a peak because people want to have a festive meal, they want to have food on the table, and some of those special things that come with this time of year. Are you noticing a spike at this time of year, and how does it compare to last year?
We see high numbers in Vancouver. We've got 16,000 people coming to visit us weekly and about 160 organizations that come to us for food. As you said, I think the holiday season is a really big time for sharing food with friends and family. So our big focus is making sure we have enough fresh food for everyone who needs our support at this time.
And is this the time of year where you're also really relying on those donations to come in to sort of set you up for the rest of the year?
Definitely. We're very lucky. We have an incredible community that have really supported us throughout this year. We actually purchased our first home. So the community's shown up throughout the year, but especially this season, people tend to be very kind and generous. And it really helps us purchase that fresh food from local BC farmers and make sure that we're giving out as much fresh produce as we can to people who need us at this time of year.
So what are you giving out to people? You said you have 16,000 people per week, which is an astounding number, actually. But what are you giving? Is it a hamper, and what goes into that?
So people come and there's a whole range of different food. They take the things that they want. If there's something there they don't want, they can leave it. But again, a lot of fresh food that our volunteers are giving out. So at the moment, we've got things like Brussels sprouts and carrots and mushrooms and tomatoes. So people go through the line and they get as much fresh produce as we can give them each week.
That's actually amazing. So they have that produce. They can make a nice meal for their families. That's fantastic. And so what are some of the things that you are looking for when it comes to donations? And can those numbers, those donations, make up for the rest of the year?
Absolutely. So we don't accept food donations from the general public at the GVFB, really, because to get those fresh produce, we have to focus with relationships with farmers and with food organizations. It's always a bit of a rush. You're trying to make the process as effective and efficient as possible to get as much time to give out that fresh produce before it goes away. So some of the things that we're doing that our donors are very kindly supporting us with right now is testing out methods of food preservation, because there's various types that can keep up to 96% of the freshness of an item, and you can give it out for over 20 years. So things like that, if we can do more things like that, we can make sure we're making the most of the fresh produce available across BC.
So who are the clients of the Greater Vancouver Food Bank? I mean, are we talking about families? Are they seniors? Are you seeing children coming in? Who uses the food bank right now?
Yeah, we see all of those. We're definitely seeing a lot of seniors at the moment, a lot of people whose pensions maybe aren't covering their cost of living. So a lot of seniors and a lot of children as well with their families. So it's very mixed.
What is the best way that people who are watching can help? Because we know that the need is there. And people at this time of year want to be able to do something. What advice would you have?
I think there's a few things. Firstly, I'd say if you know someone who's in need, tell them to come to us. We do have fresh food to give out, and we want to help everyone that we can across the community who needs us. We also do have an incredible group of volunteers, both individuals and people from companies. It's very busy this time of year, but we really need that support in January and February. So if you have some time on your hand, come and volunteer with us in the new year. And then, as you said, if people are able to and would consider supporting the GVFB with a donation this year, it goes a huge way to keep those relationships with farmers and get more fresh food for people in need in our community.
And they can make a donation right on the website?
Yes, on the website, so foodbank.bc.ca.
Really good information. Tor Smith, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, is a plan to make housing more affordable good enough to get the job done?
They are moving in the right direction, but not at the speed and scale that's necessary.
What a new report is saying about the Carney government's proposal to double the pace of housing construction.
Turn the screens off. All right, turn them off.
With the holiday season underway, how parents are getting creative to get their kids to put their devices away and spend more time with family. Easier said than done. That's coming up next. Your workplace a boost with a CTV Your Morning Vancouver One Coffee Coffee Break. Enter now for a chance to win a variety of delicious K-Cup coffee pods and a brand new Keurig coffee machine courtesy of One Coffee. Each month, CTV community host Mona Mahmood will visit the winning workplace to deliver the exciting package. Enter online at ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Good luck. Good morning. Welcome back to Your Morning Vancouver. It's 7:22 on a very soggy Monday. In fact, we do have rainfall warnings that have been issued for areas around North and West Vancouver, Howe Sound, up the Sea to Sky corridor, also including northeastern sections around Coquitlam, Maple Ridge. So get ready for the rain. It's also going to be very gusty and very mild. Temperatures well above seasonal. Will be almost double where we should be at 6 degrees. We'll be at 13 degrees, very close to that record in 2015. So it's a wet one. It's also very mild as far as double digits for that northeastern side of Vancouver Island. Tofino, 11 degrees. Tofino has been the hot spot this past hour across the country. So not only for BC, but for also all of Canada. Victoria, 15 degrees today. Look at these temperatures. Very mild. It'll be very wet in the village, and then higher elevation should be seeing some of that snow. And we do have gusty winds on deck for us too, right around the water, potentially up to 50 km/h winds midday. Tomorrow, we're going to catch a break, potentially a little bit of sunshine in the mix as well. On and off rain, a series of systems really on deck for us here on the South Coast. So it's going to be a wet one. Let's enjoy this photo sent in by Dino Bianchi of the Strait of Georgia and that gorgeous rainbow connection. If you'd like to send us your scenic snapshot, you can email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca. Gorgeous, hey? Lovers, the dreamers, and me. There you said it. Perfect. Thanks for that, Steph. Okay, well, a new study finds that kids who spend excessive time on devices are at a higher risk for developing problems like anxiety and even aggression later in life. And now with the holiday season arriving, parents are getting creative to get their kids to look up from their screens. ABC's Janai Norman reports.
This holiday season, families are gathering together, but they may have to share quality time with tablets, phones, and video games. It's an issue even Woody and Buzz in the upcoming Toy Story 5 have to contend with.
Hi there, I'm Lilypad. Let's play. Our adolescent years are such high impact years for brain development. The idea that technology can be interrupting that development is really concerning to me.
Now, adults across the country are finding creative ways to solve the issue, from some reportedly spending as much as $8,000 on camps to detox kids from their devices, to others tackling the problem themselves.
Turn the screens off. All right, let's hear the ball.
Former NFL cornerback Chimdi Chekwa and his wife Sia are encouraging more outdoor play for their kids. But in the cold winter months, keeping kids busy can be a challenge.
They find plenty of things to do. And then we like to do things together. Like they love to dance, so we'll play music and dance around the house, or they love to play games. They're really competitive in that nature.
And for many, like San Francisco mom Susan Rosenthal, packing the calendar for her daughter can feel like a full-time job.
We had to schedule every minute of the day because, or else she would be bored and there will be consequences for us.
Rosenthal partnered with other parents to create the Dex Learning Camera, a device which aims to teach kids new languages. Hola! Hoping to emphasize learning as well as play, in part to cut down on excess screen time.
For me, the peace of mind that she's doing something that I feel is more educational and is different and more interactive than, what is currently screen time.
Ultimately, increased screen time is here to stay, but experts say it's all about moderation and creating a plan, like establishing screen-free times, like during meals or before bed, and encouraging offline activity like arts and crafts, even imaginative play.
Yeah, it's such a hard thing. I'm trying to remember what it was like pre-phones, especially during the holidays. Yeah, you'd play games with your family members. You would look at the tree. You'd sit there, read books. I don't know, what did we do before we had phones? And maybe it's just time to just sort of reestablish some of those guidelines around, a couple of hours here is when no one's going to be on their phones and we're going to do something together.
Well, just a warning, my son has outsmarted screen time by changing the world clock.
Change the world clock?
What? You change the world clock and then it outsmarts the screen time limits. Really?
Shut the internet off.
I shut it off.
Shut it off, Steph. Honestly, he can't be outsmarting the world clock and you. No.
No, you can control that internet.
My tip would be make a schedule for the family.
Right.
Like for Christmas Day, from 12 to noon, we're going to bake together. From 1 to blah, we're going to watch movies. And that way they have no excuse. We're bored. You're not.
Activities. Got to have those activities planned.
Put those phones away. Okay. Preparing for the holidays at a world-famous cathedral.
We are very happy of what has been done here.
How Notre Dame is shaping up 1 year after reopening from the damage caused by that massive fire. Also,
it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere.
the Vatican's annual concert with the poor featured a Canadian icon. You probably recognize that voice. We'll take a look at Michael Bublé performing for the Pope. And an update on the new Pattullo Bridge, when drivers can expect to drive across it, coming up. Good morning. A heads up for anyone who relies on the Pattullo Bridge. Another key update is coming today on its long-awaited replacement. The province is set to lay out where things stand and how close we might be to driving on the new span. Reagan is live in Surrey at the South Approach this morning. Good morning, Reagan. So after years of shifting timelines, what are officials expected to address today?
Good morning, Carrie. Today is all about clarity for commuters, many of which who are making across their bridge deck right now this morning in the thick of the morning commute. This project was supposed to be done in 2023, then was delayed to 2024, and now it's been promised to be done in just a few weeks, the end of 2025. And that's if it sticks to schedule that the province laid out last spring. Although the delays have been attributed to supply chain issues, inflation, and extended work on the bridge's main tower. That tower is now complete, marking a major milestone for the $1.6 billion project. Once finished, the crossing will feature wider lanes with a center median and new pathways for cyclists and pedestrians. But the design remains a point of contention. Surrey's mayor says 4 lanes won't meet the needs of the rapidly growing city, while New Westminster has long argued it can't support the traffic load of a 6-lane bridge. Until the replacement is ready, the aging Pattullo will stay in service with occasional closures workers as construction wraps up. But construction is still quite active here this morning, and we are expected to get an update in just a couple of hours now on the status of that and if the province will indeed make that timeline of the end of 2025. Carrie.
Okay, Reagan Hasegawa joining us this morning. Thanks for that, Reagan. Well, just as the busy holiday travel season gets underway, there is some turbulence ahead. Air Transat will start suspending flights today as pilots prepare to go on strike.
We're trying to bring compensation up to date along with our pension, the benefits, and also one of the most important items, job security.
The union representing the airline's 750 pilots issued a 72-hour strike notice yesterday, setting the stage for a strike as early as Wednesday. The two sides have been negotiating for nearly a year without success. Air Transat says it's offered a 59% salary increase over 5 years and major improvements to pilots' working conditions.
It's in line with the gap that we felt that we needed to bridge to be in line with the Canadian market.
Air Transat says some flights will be suspended today, with all being put on hold tomorrow. Passengers looking to make changes to their current travel plans will be offered a credit from the airline. Turning now to breaking news, Ottawa is introducing new immigration rules to make it easier for foreign-trained doctors to work in Canada. Doctors nominated for the new program will receive expedited work permit processing. 5,000 spots are being reserved for provinces to nominate doctors with job offers. The new measures target foreign-trained doctors who have at least 1 year of Canadian work experience gained within the last 3 years. And to more breaking news this morning, a powerful earthquake has struck off the northern coast of Japan, triggering a tsunami alert. The Japanese Meteorological Agency says the magnitude 7.2 quake struck earlier this morning. It has issued an alert in the region, warning of tsunamis of up to 3 meters. Nuclear plants in that region are also conducting safety checks. This is breaking news, and we will bring you more information as it comes in. Overseas, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer will host Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky today for discussions of the U.S.-backed peace plan. Here's what U.S. President Donald Trump had to say about the plan.
You know, Russia, I guess, would rather have the whole country when you think of it. But Russia is, I believe, fine with it. But I'm not sure that Zelensky's fine with it. His people love it. But he hasn't read it.
Many in Europe are concerned that the Trump administration's plan is too favorable toward Russia. Starmer and Zelensky are also expected to meet with leaders of France and Germany. Meanwhile, Trump is heaping praise on his relationship with Canada and the Prime Minister, but has not committed to restarting any trade talks.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you know, the problem is Canada makes a lot of things that we don't need because we make them also. But we'll work it out. Look, Canada's a special place, and they really are good at ice hockey, aren't they?
When asked about the state of trade talks with Canada, Trump said, quote, "We'll work it out." Trump met with Prime Minister Mark Carney and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on the sidelines of the FIFA 2026 draw Friday. Meanwhile, we are getting a World Cup update today. The Vancouver FIFA host committee is set to provide more details on preparations and progress made leading up to the big tournament. The host committee, BC Place representatives, and members from the Tsleil-Waututh Nation will all be in attendance. They will outline the progress made and what key priorities are for 2026 leading up to the tournament. Vancouver is set to host 7 games for the World Cup in June, with at least 2 involving Team Canada. The man accused of killing a prominent healthcare CEO is back in court. This is we're getting a first look at newly released evidence in the case. ABC's Aaron Kotursky has more.
This morning, accused killer Luigi Mangione returns to court, where he's coming face-to-face with the police officers who arrested him in a Pennsylvania McDonald's after a 5-day manhunt.
They're looking for a male, about 5 feet, 10 inches in height, cream-colored jacket, black mask, black gloves.
Newly released video shows what happened after Mangione allegedly gunned down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The suspect walks by the victim and appears to glance at him before turning and scampering away. Police said the suspect fled on a bike, hailed a taxi, and eventually hopped a bus. Officers testified they found this Greyhound ticket in Mangioni's pocket under the name Sam Dawson. It's a second alias prosecutors said Mangione used after allegedly showing this fake ID for a Mark Rosario.
I have a customer here that some other customers were suspicious of, that he looks like the CEO shooter from New York.
Customers at an Altoona McDonald's had noticed a young man eating breakfast in a corner seat.
Well, he has his beanie pulled down, so the only thing you can see is his eyebrows.
Altoona police dispatched 2 officers.
Got a call from the manager there. Customers came to her, said there's a male in the store that looks like the NYC shooter.
Mangione's attorneys are now challenging what police retrieved from his backpack. One of the next witnesses is the officer who searched the bag, pulling out the alleged murder weapon and writings that prosecutors say point to motive. Another witness is the officer who found this pocket knife, zip ties, and a future to-do list. For today's date a year ago, the paper listed digital cam, hot meals, and water bottles. For the next day, the note said Intel check-in and survival kit. The evidence suppression hearing here is expected to continue all week. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
Well, a water leak has damaged hundreds of works in the Louvre. It happened weeks after a brazen jewel theft raised concerns over the museum's infrastructure. The damaged books were in the museum's Egyptian Antiquities department and dated from the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The leak happened late last month. An internal investigation revealed it was caused by an accidental opening of a valve in the heating and ventilation system that led to water seeping through the ceiling. Well, lava spewing from one of the most active volcanoes in the world has knocked out a remote camera in Hawaii. As you can see, the moment lava and ash from the Kilauea volcano hit the camera yesterday, officials say the lava fountains reached upwards of 100 feet. Look at that. The Hawaiian volcano has been erupting intermittently for nearly a year now. Well, BC-born singer Michael Bublé has performed for the Pope and the disadvantaged at the Vatican's annual Concert with the Poor.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
The concert aims to offer an experience of art and culture for the less fortunate, including those experiencing homelessness and migrants. A packed dinner and other comfort items were given out to the more than 3,000 guests. Well, Toy Mountain has wrapped up, and it was another successful year. $93,000 was raised and 9,500 toys were donated, all benefiting the Lower Mainland Christmas Bureau. CTV wants to thank everyone who donated toys, including our partners, sponsors, viewers, and listeners for helping to make the holidays for some families just a little bit brighter. Yep, absolutely incredible. I was down there at the very last hours of Toy Mountain on Friday. It was a mountain of toys. It was absolutely incredible to see stuff.
It's so amazing. I was so happy to be a part of it Friday morning. And yeah, just seeing everyone bring their gifts in, all the donations, the cash donations, it was so heartfelt, and so many viewers just coming to say hi and loving to be a part of it, right?
Yeah, right at the very end when we were packing up all the toys so they could ship them off to the Lower Mainland Christmas Bureau, people were still coming up and offering toys. So it was really incredible to see.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. It's such a successful event every year. So thank you to everyone who donated. Look at what we've got outside. It's a little bit treacherous out there. So we are expecting very heavy rain at times today. We are also very mild as far as temperatures go and where we should be for this time of the year. In fact, Tofino has been the hot spot across the country at 10.4. It's kind of waffling between 10.4 and 10.6 degrees the past several hours. We are expecting up to 70 millimeters of rainfall, especially around our coastal mountains. So all the way from North Vancouver to Maple Ridge and then up the Sea to Sky, Howe Sound under these rainfall warnings. Victoria, as far as South Coast, is currently under a wind warning. We're going to have very gusty winds, all very heavy rain along the coast, central inland sections, and snow for the BC Peace and Fort Nelson. We've got winds out of the southwest. These are all weather statements in place, so we're expecting these gusty winds. If you're traveling on any of the mountain passes, get ready for some treacherous, gusty winds today. So temperatures above seasonal for the most part part above freezing. Minus 22 for Fort St. John, and yes, up to 15 centimeters of snowfall in that region. So it is going to be wet. It's going to be windy. I do have a 5-day coming up. We'll take a look at what's in store for us for the rest of the week. But now let's go check in with Mona.
Good morning from the Vancouver Aquarium. As you know, school's almost out for winter break, so what better way to welcome in the holidays than right here with Scuba Claus. Good morning, Scuba Claus.
Good morning, Scuba Claus.
And good morning to Samuel, who's an interpreter here at the aquarium. He's going to tell us about everything happening here at the aquarium over the next few weeks. Samuel, break it all down for us.
Well, good morning. Thank you so much. Yeah, right now we got Scuba Claus in our BC Wild Coast habitat, saying hi to all of the harbor seals that call this habitat their home, as well as all the children lined up to get their opportunity to meet Scuba Claus. We got a lot of exciting things this month.
Absolutely. Now, how many times does Scuba Claus put on a show here?
Well, Scuba Claus gets in the water 3 times a day here, once in one of our habitats inside and twice in here with the harbor seals. So it's a pretty packed afternoon.
Absolutely. Now, this is happening every day until, of course, Santa goes home, Christmas Day.
Exactly.
Back to the North Pole. He's making the time for us underwater because there's a lot of underwater friends here at the aquarium who want to see him too. So what is the Vancouver Aquarium home to?
So right now, we got so many different animals that call this place their home, but in this habitat, we got some harbor seals, sometimes living in here with them, some stellar sea lions, California sea lion, northern fur seals, sea otters living in a different section, a lot of animals that want to say hi to Scuba Claus.
Absolutely. Now, another great thing that the aquarium is obviously always wanting to emphasize is your conservation efforts. So talk to us about that.
Absolutely. So yeah, this is an incredible example of that. All of the harbor seals that do live here came through our Vancouver Aquarium Marine Mammal Rescue Society. So all 4 of them, Donnelly, Pim, Da Vinci, and Jessica, have all gone through the Vancouver Aquarium Marine Mammal Rescue Society and gotten the help that they need to live the lives that they live. So it's a pretty awesome time for us to chat about them as well.
Yeah, well, Scuba Claus entertains all the children. It's also a great learning opportunity for the kids that are going to walk through the doors through the holiday and winter break. And Samuel, I want to say thank you so much for telling us all about yourself and Scuba Claus over here. We're going to stick around at the aquarium and learn a little bit more about what they have to offer over the holiday season. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, I'm going to hang out here with Scuba Claus.
Rested.
Oh, so sweet. Well, an annual fundraiser supporting the Down Syndrome Resource Foundation is just around the corner. Still to come, we'll catch up with an award-winning actor and longtime DSRF student to talk about the special event. That's a bit later. But first,
I think they are moving in the right direction, but not at the speed and scale that's necessary.
is a plan to make housing more affordable good enough to get the job done? What a new report is saying about the Carney government's proposal to double the pace of housing construction. Stay with us. The Carney government has promised to double the pace of housing construction to address the affordable housing issue, but a new report is calling that into question. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver looks at why some are concerned the Liberal plan won't be enough.
We need to get housing supply up. In fact, we need to double housing supply on an annual basis.
Prime Minister Mark Carney's campaign pledge to build nearly 500,000 homes annually so far isn't adding up. According to a new PBO report, Ottawa's new federal agency, Build Canada Homes, is projected to add 26,000 units to the housing supply over the next 5 years, a 2.1% increase over the fiscal watchdog's baseline projection for new home construction.
I think I would give them a C- when it comes to housing. That overall, I think they are moving in the right direction, but not at the speed and scale that's necessary.
The housing minister doesn't see things the same way. He says Build Canada Homes is just getting started and that the PBO's numbers don't tell the whole story.
I think that's just based on the raw number. It's not based on attracting a lot of investment from provinces, from the private sector.
By harnessing private and public sector funding, Ottawa intends to double the pace of housing construction. But so far, it hasn't released a clear plan to achieve that goal. And overall spending on housing, according to the PBO, is set to drop by 56% over the next 3 years as Trudeau-era programs expire.
A lot of the mechanisms that the federal government used weren't terribly effective in creating the affordable housing that people need the most. So I welcome the restart represented by Build Canada Homes, but we have to see a lot more.
The PBO report assumes that major programs like the $4.4 billion Housing Accelerator Fund will not be renewed or topped up. The finance minister, however, says it's not fair to prejudge what decisions the government will make between now and 2029. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Well, now to Notre Dame Cathedral in France, where preparations are underway for Christmas. It comes a year after the cathedral reopened following that disastrous 2019 fire. ABC's Lindsay Davis has the story.
1 year since reopening, Paris's famed Notre Dame Cathedral is still undergoing a stunning resurrection. The nativity scene is once again a big draw during this Christmas season. On December 24th, the small Bible will be replaced with a baby. Outside, scaffolding serves as a reminder that this 850-year-old building is still healing, still becoming, restoring what 2019's fire tried to claim but could not extinguish. Philippe Jost is Secretary General of Notre Dame, charged with overseeing this massive undertaking of reconstruction.
President Macron at the time said, "We're going to build this up. It's going to be even more beautiful." Do you think you've achieved that?
We are very happy of what has been done here.
We're told that one of the most intricate aspects of this project was recreating the spire. It took 8 months to build it. It is just a masterpiece.
This holiday season, Paris is in full swing, with this crown jewel still under repair, but very much alive.
We feel there's a soul inside this building.
It's the soul of a cultural monument, Catholic monument, and it's the soul of all that people who has worked here have given to the monument, you see?
Lindsay Davis, ABC News, New York.
Well, it's only Monday. Do you have a lot of meetings scheduled for this work week? Don't forget to keep your work face in check. Your Monday morning sidebar is just ahead.
Welcome back to Your Morning Vancouver. It's 7:53 on a soggy Monday. We do have some rainfall warnings in place, in fact, especially for kids. Anybody north Van, West Vancouver, Maple Ridge, Coquitlam, all those areas, as well as up the Sea to Sky towards Whistler, Howe Sound, Squamish. Expecting very heavy rain today, and a lot of it. Up to 70 millimeters expected. Even Victoria's under some wind warnings. I'll show you more about those coming up, but we get a little bit of a break. It'll taper tonight. Overcast skies. Tuesday, we should see some breaks on those clouds, but then we have a series of stormy systems moving in for the remainder of the 5 days. So get ready for the rain.
It's that time of year.
It sure
It's been
is.
a soggy weekend.
It has.
Every time I looked outside, it just looked soggy.
Yesterday morning, I think, was quite pretty, though. It had,
Yeah.
Was it Saturday or Sunday? There was like sunshine, and then it was gone.
It did come for a little bit. Yeah, that's right. Well, let's brighten things up. It's time for your sidebar. Well, meetings are mandatory in most offices, so this is a reminder to mind your face. So this woman is showing us the faces she thinks she's making versus what she's actually making.
Uh-oh. That's not productive.
Yeah. Yeah, just remember to keep your camera off if that's how you're gonna
No kidding.
react.
Yeah.
That might be an issue with a lot of people going back to work in 2026 is like you kind of forgot that people can't see you during meetings sometimes.
Got to wear something other than sweatpants down below there, people. Right?
It's true.
Because here up on the Zoom call,
Things to remember.
It's true. Speaking of meetings, first-time meetings can be stressful, especially when you're on thin ice.
Babe. I can get around this corner.
No, literally, thin ice. This guy was meeting his girlfriend's parents for the first time and wanted to show off by carrying all the luggage.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately for him, he really didn't go anywhere but down. I hope this wasn't a sign of what was to come.
Yeah, that's brave.
This was a test.
That's brave.
You know what it reminds me of? That movie, The Father's Bride, or
Father-in-law?
Father-in-law. Father's Bride. Yeah,
Look
father-in-law.
at me, I am a superstar.
Yeah. Every time you try harder, it just goes sideways. Well, last up, we have Birdie C, Birdie Do. Check out this rockin' cockatoo. Jackson's got all the moves. Oh, wow. I didn't. He's on his back.
Doing break dancing.
Yeah.
Or is it beak dancing?
It's beak dancing. Oh, he's literally beak dancing.
That's hilarious.
Play this video on and on and on. Wow. And it looks like he has a
like a mohawk.
A mohawk.
How is that even
Thank
possible
you.
that he's breakdancing?
You're completing my sentences. I love it.
I wonder what else they would put on TV that bird would do if it was so inclined.
Cooking?
Wow.
Clearly
that's a start.
skilled. Very skilled.
Anyways, that's all for your sidebar.
Thank you. Well, there's a lot of emotional reaction this morning after a glorious Whitecaps run came to an end over the weekend.
Today we cry, and but it will be proud tears.
We'll hear from fans of the beautiful game and how there's much to look forward to with World Cup just months away. Also, this unique art exhibit is turning heads. Still to come, what the artist behind the project is saying about the message to the world. Oh, this is so weird. Stick around.
Good morning from Surrey. After years of delays, when will the long-awaited new Pattullo Bridge finally be open to drivers? We've got an update coming up on Your Morning Vancouver.
When will you be able to drive on the new Pattullo Bridge? We're expecting an update this morning on the massive and often delayed project.
Benefits, and also one of the most important items, job security.
Some turbulent times ahead at the airport. Air Transat pilots issue strike notice and flights could be suspended today.
We want patients to feel secure. We apologize for the stress that this might cause.
Why pregnant patients at 2 Fraser Valley hospitals might have to find somewhere else to go to give birth. Well, good morning, everyone. It's Monday, December 8th. Welcome to Your Morning Vancouver. I'm Carrie Adams. Well, drivers could soon get a clearer picture of when the new Pattullo Bridge will finally open. The province is giving an update today on the long-delayed replacement for the nearly 90-year-old span. CTV's Reagan Hasegawa is live at the South Approach in Surrey Forest this morning. Good morning, Reagan. Still very much an active construction zone in behind you there. What should commuters be watching for?
Good morning, Carrie. Yes, and many people eagerly waiting to see if this construction is going to wrap up in time in order for them to drive across the new span by the end of 2025, which is the estimated timeline from the province, the most recent timeline, but also only a few weeks away. Now, this project was initially expected to be ready to go by 2023. Then it was pushed to 2024. And then last May, the province said it was slated for 2025, which is, of course, only a few weeks away. Officials pointed to supply chain problems, inflation, and longer work on the main tower, which is now finished, and the tallest bridge tower in BC. When complete, the $1.6 billion bridge will offer wider, safer lanes separated by a center median, plus dedicated walking and cycling paths. The 4-lane design has sparked debate. Surrey's mayor has said it won't keep up with growth, while New Westminster has argued that the 6 lanes originally proposed would overload its streets. The current Pattullo will remain open until the new one is ready to go. There have been periodic closures for construction. And anyone who's driven across the nearly 90-year-old span knows how dicey it can be and how narrow the lanes are, particularly during the morning rush when it's incredibly busy going across the bridge deck. So many commuters eagerly waiting to see when this new timeline will be updated. Carrie?
Okay, Reagan Hasegawa joining us live this morning. Thanks, Reagan. Well, don't forget your umbrella. It is going to be a wet and stormy day for much of Metro Vancouver. Environment Canada is warning that upwards of 70 millimeters of rain could fall in parts of Metro Vancouver by this evening. That includes the North Shore, Tri-Cities, Ridge Meadows, and Howe Sound. There's also an advisory in place for the Sea to Sky Highway. We'll have more coming up in our weather report with Stephanie in just a few minutes. Well, Canadians could be in for another airline strike just in time for Christmas. Air Transat pilots have issued 72-hour strike notice and could be walking off the job as early as this coming Wednesday. CTV's Scott Hurst joins us now with the latest on this development. Good morning to you, Scott. What are the main issues for the pilots?
Hello, good morning, Carrie. A lot of anxiety, of course, for travelers potentially caught in the middle here with the holiday season fast approaching in the days leading up to Christmas and New Year, often the busiest airline travel days of the year. So this could have a big impact on holiday plans for a lot of people. Air Transat flies tens of thousands of passengers every week on hundreds of flights. Now, the union, representing some 750 pilots, the Airline Pilots Association, says the goal is a new collective agreement that boosts wages, gives better job security, working conditions, and quality of life. Now, earlier this month, 99% of pilots voted in favor of strike action if it got to that point, arguing months of what it says were unproductive bargaining sessions has left them no choice. Here's more from the union representative.
Trying to bring compensation up to date, along with our pension, the benefits, and also one of the most important items, job security.
Okay, this is a big travel time of year, as you mentioned. Are we getting a sense of when we might see flight cancellations?
Carrie, the airline will have to begin making some of those cancellations today and then lead to a full cancellation tomorrow. I've reached out to the airline to find out exactly what that means, how many flights might be canceled today and tomorrow. I've yet to hear back from the airline specifically. Now, the company that owns the leisure airline is calling the union's demands and moves right now reckless and premature. The airline is saying it has offered a 59% salary increase over 5 years and also significant improvements to pilots' working conditions. Now, the airline says it is offering more flexibility to passengers right now to postpone or change their travel plans, including a credit valid for up to a year if canceling a booking between now and Friday, so at least over the next 5 days. I've also heard from the union this morning through email saying the two sides do remain at the bargaining table and that talks through the weekend were extended into the early morning hours of today, and talks will pick up once again later this morning, Carrie.
We'll be watching this. Scott Hurst joining us this morning. Thanks for that, Scott.
Thanks, Carrie.
Well, 2 Lower Mainland hospitals are warning the public they'll be turning away pregnant patients going into labor on certain dates. It's due to a shortage of obstetricians. Both Maple Ridge Hospital and Peace Arch Hospital in White Rock are periodically implementing what's known as maternity diversion. That means patients in labor arriving on their own will be redirected to other hospitals, and ambulances will also take them elsewhere.
We want patients to feel secure. We apologize for the stress that this might cause. We are, one of the largest health authorities in the province. Certainly in terms of maternity deliveries, we are the largest across our 8 sites.
Fraser Health has reached out to patients whose birth plans involve the 2 hospitals. They also have a web page with the latest info on dates that the diversions will take place. The nominations for the 83rd Annual Golden Globes have been handed out this morning, and the big front-runner is no surprise.
Best performance in a stand-up comedy or on television. Bill Maher. Is anyone else seeing this? HBO Max.
Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another has been nominated for 6 awards, including Best Director. The Norwegian drama Sentimental Value has also been nominated for 6 awards. Meanwhile, Korean-Canadian director Maggie Kang earned a nod for Best Animated Feature for her debut film, K-Pop Demon Hunters. Well, turning to sports now, the Vancouver Canucks will look to make it 2 wins in a row tonight when they host the Detroit Red Wings. The team is coming off a surprising 4-2 victory over the Minnesota Wild on Saturday. Before that, the struggling squad dropped 7 of their previous 8 games. Puck drop from Rogers Arena is at 7 p.m. Currently, the Canucks sit last in the Pacific Division, 1 point behind the Calgary Flames. Well, the Shipyard's Christmas market is back for another year in North Vancouver. More than 140 European-inspired vendors are taking part this season.
German mulled wine. We have red, white, and apple cider. And it's all authentic recipes. And as you can see, the cauldrons are from Germany. Weekends are busy. Last night we had a huge lineup. It was a gong show, but it was good.
Stall selling seasonal treats throughout the shipyard saw people braving the rain with the help of mulled wine and hot cocoa this weekend. The market runs right up until Christmas Eve at 8 p.m. with Friday and Saturday nights going until 10. Meanwhile, the stunning Fleur de Ville Noël lights display is back for the 7th straight year. The dazzling display is inspired by the 12 days of Christmas and runs until December 14th. You can see each lyric in a different display in downtown Vancouver with maps at the Fairmont Hotel, as well as Pacific Centre and the Hyatt Vancouver downtown. Well, a new art exhibit is turning heads down in Florida. Robot dogs with human heads pooping printed pictures. The bizarre spectacle is part of an exhibit in Miami, courtesy of the artist known as Beeple. The artist says the crazy creations featuring the heads of influential figures like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Andy Warhol, Jeff Bezos are meant to symbolize how power and persuasion in art and business shape the way the rest of us see the world. Okay.
Really gets your attention.
It really does. It's, you know, we see these robot dogs sometimes that don't have heads, and that's kind of weird. But then when you see a human head on it, it sort of takes it to a next weird level. But anyway, it's art.
It's art,
Steph.
It sure is. It sure is. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. CTV Weather is brought to you by Craftsman Collision, BC's leader in auto body repair. Lots to tell you about. We have heavy rain on deck for us here around the lower mainland, around the south coast. So get ready for mild conditions as well, well above seasonal temperatures. We should be sitting around 6. We're heading to a high of 13 degrees today, and we broke a record at 14 degrees on this day. So here we are already at 10 degrees there in White Rock. We're very, very mild, and heavy rain is expected, especially in areas up towards Squamish and Whistler, and then out all along the coastal mountains. So North Vancouver, West Vancouver, all the way out to Maple Ridge, even the Fraser Valley looking like it's going to get hit pretty hard with this rain. And then very gusty winds. In fact, they've issued more of these wind statements, and these are in place for the interior region where we've seen these winds gusting out of the southwest. So very gusty, especially for our mountain passes. Very wet tonight, and then into tonight we'll get a little break, and then tomorrow night we'll see another round of that weather. So we do have some serious rain on deck for the next 5 days. As you can see, just rounds of stormy systems expected. So there's a look at it. It's wet, it's windy. 5-day is coming up. Over to you.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for that, Stephanie. Well, it sounds simple, but for many people, it isn't easy.
Money brings me so much more joy than spending it.
Still to come, what people are doing to save money instead of spending it. This is we get new numbers about the cash BC residents are planning to drop over the holidays. So stick around for that story. But first, a major event in support of the Down Syndrome Resource Foundation is nearly here. Up next, we're going to speak with an actor and longtime DSRF student to learn what to expect. That's coming up right after the break. An annual fundraiser supporting the Down Syndrome Resource Foundation is just around the corner, featuring festive food, special performances, auction wreaths, and even a visit from Santa.
Exciting. Joining us this morning to share his story and what people can expect is award-winning actor and longtime DSRF student, Aaron Waddingham. Hi, Aaron.
Hi.
Hey.
Good to see you.
I'm so excited to be talking to you about this, Aaron, because I've been at the breakfast for several years now, and it's always a great event. Now, you're co-hosting this year, and I understand that you're also an actor, so I'm sure those skills will tend to themselves. Tell us about some of the roles that you've been part of.
I'm part of BC Leo Award in 2023, so I'm so proud of myself, and I'm also doing, shout out to my friend, Madison Telvin. She's from Ontario. She do like Ontario friend from Madison Telvin. It's a short film. It's a movie. It's called One Perfect Date. It's coming up next year.
Exciting.
And the big one happens. It's a Disney one.
Ooh.
I'm part of BG, the background actor.
Okay.
I'm a part of the Descendants.
Oh, that is a big name.
Wow.
Wow, that's a long list of films you've been a part of there. Congratulations. Look forward to seeing that coming out.
And my short film Chicken too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a lot of projects going on. You've actually been a part of the Down Syndrome Resource Foundation for years now. Maybe give us a sense of how that has helped you grow and follow your dreams.
Follow my dreams. Sorry.
That's okay.
Follow my dreams is... keep learning. Learning how to speak for OT, like OT, OT, and reading. I have to read because read is the most important part with people with Down syndrome. And most difficult thing about Down syndrome, they have difficult to speak because lots of people with Down syndrome has stutters. I have to more expect that.
So you've taken some programs that can help you with that.
Yeah.
Great.
That's incredible. Now, Aaron, as I mentioned, we're co-hosting the Magical Morning Breakfast together on Friday, and that's a fundraising event for the DSRF. What can people expect from the event this year?
So, same thing as last year, same thing. We have Christmas decorations, the wreath for donate, for win prizes, and it's Santa Claus and breakfast.
And Santa Claus is a huge draw. When he comes out at the end of the breakfast, everyone goes crazy, for sure.
The big highlight.
Well, he makes a visit just for us.
Wow.
It was a busy schedule.
Well, it's Christmas time, so...
Yes,
yeah.
It's the big draw. And of course, you two as well. I'm sure that's going to be a big draw as well.
I'm excited to take the stage with you, Aaron.
That's going to be great. Anyone who wants to show their support for the DSRF, can you tell us how people can get involved?
So we have to enter www.dsrf.org.
Okay, they get more information on the website.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I think the breakfast is going to be great.
It's
Looking
delicious.
forward to hearing all about it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's happening this Friday, December 12th, and it's at the Sheraton Wall Center, just down the street from us here. So it's going to be a great event. So if I'm not on the show, it's because I'm having breakfast with Aaron.
And Santa, apparently.
And Santa Claus. And it's going to be a great morning. It's always magical.
Aaron, thanks so much for joining us in studio, and have fun at the breakfast this weekend.
Thank you.
On Friday.
Aaron.
Well, as you pick out your Christmas tree for the holiday season, there could be more than just decorating your home.
I have a very specific type of tree that I want in mind.
We're learning about One Tree Harvest that's helping to mitigate wildfires in a national park.
Today we cry, but it will be proud tears.
After a heartbreaking weekend for the Whitecaps, how there's much to look forward to when it comes to the beautiful game in BC. Stay with us.
Give your workplace a boost with a CTV Your Morning Vancouver One Coffee break. Enter now for a chance to win a variety of delicious K-Cup coffee pods and a brand new Keurig coffee machine, courtesy of One Coffee. Each month, CTV community host Mona Mahmood will visit the winning workplace to deliver the exciting package. Enter online at ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Good luck.
Welcome back, everyone. And speaking of welcomes, ta-da! Look who's here. Recognize that face, everyone?
Hey, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Right, yeah. Mark's back in the office after several months away recovering from an injury. And I know, Mark, we're going to be seeing more of you over the coming days and weeks.
A little more in days and weeks. I feel like I'm the new intern here. You know, I'm just sort of learning everything else and learning back. But yeah, it's going to be a gradual return. But I'm so grateful to be back. It's been so great to be back with you guys and everybody here, and thank everybody at CTV. And also thank you to everybody who's called into the station, emailed saying, how's Mark doing? When's he coming back? It meant so much to me during my recovery, and I'm glad to be back. So
yeah, we got you a cake on your first day back.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And those balloons.
Yeah. Thank you.
So good to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, well, soccer fans in BC are feeling the agony of defeat this week as the Vancouver Whitecaps lost the MLS Cup to Inter Miami. But as Penny Dathlos shows us, they're managing to keep their soccer hopes high thanks to next year's World Cup.
20,000 soccer fans experienced the ultimate emotional roller coaster at BC Place Stadium. And one of the biggest viewing parties Vancouver has ever seen.
The Western Conference champions.
As the Whitecaps faced Inter Miami for the MLS Cup in Florida. After a grim start to the game, jubilation at a tying goal. Before it all came crashing down. Each painful moment was etched on the faces of these soccer superfans.
Tough game to swallow.
Many had a favorite they'd been rooting for. And after experiencing the joy and pain of professional sports, appreciation for the experience.
Good cheers, good support, good love.
This season has been absolutely amazing watching them just evolve and really come together as a team. They played their hearts out.
Today we cry, but it will be proud tears. And we'll wipe them away. And we'll come back.
Canadian fans of the beautiful game are now counting down to the next big event, the World Cup in June. FIFA has now unveiled the full schedule for the tournament, including Toronto, which will host the first match with Team Canada against the winner of Europe's UEFA tournament. The other teams who will hit the pitch there are Ghana, Panama, Germany, Cote d'Ivoire, Croatia, Senegal, and a team yet to be determined. Vancouver will first play host to Australia against a European opponent to be determined. Then Team Canada, Qatar, New Zealand, Egypt, Switzerland, and Belgium will get a chance to show their skills on the country's west coast.
When you talk about best case scenario for Canada, it wasn't best, it wasn't worst, and they should be able to get out of the group here at a home World Cup.
A one-time Olympic venue, BC Place is now undergoing renovations to welcome back soccer fans for the World Cup, as well as Whitecaps fans trying to look at the bright side.
Next year, we'll fight harder.
Penny Duffloss, CTV News, Vancouver.
Yeah, even though the loss was heartbreaking, I think the Whitecaps run and getting so close to winning that MLS championship has really sort of galvanized us as soccer fans. We're like, okay, now here we go. World Cup is next. Let's go.
We belong here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a remarkable job that the whole team kind of came together, and also kudos to Jesper Sorensen, the head coach. Yeah, first year. He's back. He's going to be back for more. I think so. He'll be back.
Yeah, the future is bright.
Yes.
And I mean, if you're going to lose, you might as well lose to Lionel Messi.
Right.
And David Beckham's team. Like, you get to say that to your kids. Like, yeah, I lost, but it was to, like, one of the GOATs.
Tell that to Thomas Muller, though. I feel like he was probably ready to win that one.
He's over here. He goes, I'm over here.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, it was quite a matchup.
Yeah.
Quite a matchup. Yeah. And we have weather for you now.
Yes, we do. It's time to look at what's happening outside, which is a little bit messy for a Monday. So we've got a rainy one to start, heavier midday, multiple warnings in place to tell you about. So we do have rainfall warnings if you're in areas around North and West Vancouver, Coquitlam, Maple Ridge. Right now, those are the areas that are currently under rainfall warnings. Victoria, Greater Victoria under a wind warning right now. Howe Sound, so we're anywhere Squamish to Whistler. It'll be gusty up the sea to sky as well as very wet. So we could be seeing quite a bit of pooling water on the roads today, so be forewarned with that when you're doing any driving. And we're heading to a high of 13 degrees, so it's very mild today. We're into those, mid double digits, and we broke a record in 2015, so we were getting quite close to where we broke that record. Even that northeastern side of Vancouver Island hitting 12 degrees, Port Hardy 9. It's heavy rain all day. Victoria, Tofino 11, Nanaimo 14 degrees, so it is very mild. It's going to be very wet, and we'll see really that heavier rain right along the coastal mountains and up the sea to sky. But do expect it to last all day. It'll be tonight when we start to see a little bit of a break. Tomorrow is our big break, but winds very gusty out of the southeast today, gusting up to 50 kilometers per hour. So we are preparing for a series of stormy systems hitting the south coast. That's what we get to look forward to. Over to you.
Relies on the Pattullo Bridge. Another key update is coming today on its long-awaited replacement. The province is set to lay out where things stand and how close we might be to driving on that new span. Our Reagan Hasegawa is live in Surrey at the South Approach. Good morning, Reagan. It's light out now. We can see a little bit more in what's behind you there. But what we do know is that it's been years of shifting timelines for this span. What do we expect it to hear today?
Good morning, Carrie. That's right. It was originally supposed to be ready to go by 2023, then pushed to 2024. The most recent date provided was 2025, but we know that is only a few weeks away from being the reality for commuters here. So we are expected to get an update from the province today on the timeline for this project, which has been promised for the end of 2025. There have been several delays that have been attributed to supply chain issues, inflation, and extended work on the bridge's main tower. That tower is complete for the $1.6 billion project. And once completed, the new crossing will feature wider lanes with a center median and new pathways for cyclists and pedestrians. But the design does remain a point of tension. Surrey's mayor says 4 lanes won't meet the needs of a rapidly growing city, while New Westminster has long argued it can't support the traffic load of a 6-lane bridge. Until the replacement is ready, the aging Pattullo will stay in service with occasional closures as construction wraps up. So we should get a better sense today on when exactly the construction here is going to wrap up. It is still an active construction site this morning, and as you can see, we're already in the thick of the morning commute. So many of these drivers eagerly waiting to know when they're going to have more spacious lanes to get to work and school. Carrie?
In the meantime, they're on those narrow little lanes on the Pattullo Bridge. Reagan Hasegawa joining us this morning with the update. Thanks, Reagan. Well, just as the busy holiday travel season gets underway, there is some turbulence ahead. Air Transat will start suspending flights today as pilots prepare to go on strike.
We're trying to bring compensation up to date, along with our pension, the benefits, and also one of the most important items, job security.
The union representing the airline's 750 pilots issued a 72-hour strike notice yesterday, setting the stage for a strike as early as Wednesday. The two sides have been negotiating for nearly a year without success. Air Transat says it's offered a 59% salary increase over 5 years and major improvements to the pilots' working conditions.
It's in line with the gap that we felt that we needed to bridge to be in line with the Canadian market.
Air Transat says some flights will be suspended today, with all being put on hold tomorrow. Passengers looking to make changes to their current travel plans will be offered a credit from the airline. Well, Donald Trump is heaping praise on his relationship with Canada and the Prime Minister, but has not committed to restarting any trade talks.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you know, the problem is Canada makes a lot of things that we don't need because we make them also. But we'll work it out. Look, Canada's a special place, and they really are good at ice hockey, aren't they?
When asked about the state of trade talks with Canada, you heard him there. He said, quote, "We'll work it out." Trump met with Prime Minister Mark Carney and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on the sidelines of the FIFA 2026 draw on Friday. And we are getting a World Cup update today. The Vancouver FIFA host committee is set to provide more details on preparations and progress made leading up to the big tournament. The host committee, BC Place representatives, and members from Tsleil-Waututh Nation will all be in attendance. They will outline the progress made and what the key priorities are for 2026 leading up to the tournament. Vancouver is set to host 7 games for the World Cup in June, with at least 2 of them involving Team Canada. The federal Conservatives are set to introduce a non-binding motion that will require the Liberals to decide whether or not they support the construction of pipelines. The motion asks Liberal MPs whether they support the construction of, quote, 1 or more pipelines that can export at least 1 million barrels a day of Albertan bitumen from a BC port to Asian markets. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says it's meant to force the Liberals to put up or shut up on whether they support a new oil pipeline to the Pacific coast. The motion should be introduced tomorrow. Well, looks like British Columbians are hitting the brakes on spending this holiday season. A new report from TD Bank says 38% plan to spend less this year, up 9% from 2024. Nearly half of those polled say they will keep spending the same, but that's a sharp decrease from last year's total of 60%. Most say the main reason for cutting back is the cost of living. It comes at a time when many people are getting fixated on saving their money. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis reports.
I'm addicted to saving, but that's also why I have 6 figures in investments by age 25.
Saving money brings me so much more joy than spending it.
I'm addicted to saving, and honestly, it's one of the healthiest addiction I've ever had.
Forget revenge spending. This trend is all about saving.
At 24 years old, I've saved up to $100,000.
Lydia Paternoster got serious about saving 4 years ago and now puts away 50% of every paycheck.
In the past, I definitely was, I would say, addicted to spending money. But then as soon as I switched my mindset and I started saving money, I realized that has an even more powerful addiction, and it's in the right way, right, towards my financial goals.
Recently married, she and her husband are saving up for a down payment. And even as her paychecks have grown, her lifestyle stays the same.
I have an iPhone 12. I have a 10-year-old paid off car. Even though I'm making more than I've ever had, those things will not change, because no matter how much I'm making, those principles and the lifestyle creep will not affect me.
It's really important to anchor your savings goal to something really meaningful, because there will be times when you will want to give up, and that is normal. But when you have that to accompany the goal, that vision of why you're doing what you're doing, it will encourage you to stay the course.
Lydia wants to travel more and retire early. Her goals, making saving more exciting than spending.
When I check my bank account and I check my investment account and I see that number grow exponentially, it's really addicting, honestly, to just see that number in my bank account. Yeah, it's a really good feeling.
Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, New York.
Overseas, a powerful earthquake has struck off the northern coast of Japan, triggering a tsunami alert. The Japanese Meteorological Agency says the magnitude 7.2 quake struck earlier this morning. It has issued an alert in the region, warning of tsunamis of up to 3 meters. Nuclear plants in the region are also conducting safety checks. A water leak has damaged hundreds of works in the Louvre. It happened weeks after a brazen jewel theft raised concerns over the museum's infrastructure. The damaged books were in the museum's Egyptian Antiquities department and dated from the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The leak happened late last month. An internal investigation revealed it was caused by an accidental opening of a valve in the heating and ventilation system, and that led to water seeping through the ceiling. Lava spewing from one of the most active volcanoes in the world has knocked out a remote camera in Hawaii. You can see the moment lava and ash from the Kilauea volcano hits the camera yesterday. Officials say the lava fountain reached upwards of 100 feet. The Hawaiian volcano has been erupting intermittently for nearly a year now. Well, Paramount has launched a hostile takeover bid for Warner Brothers. Paramount says it's going straight to Warner Brothers shareholders with an offer of $30 US per share. That's the same bid Warner rejected in favor of the bid from Netflix. But Paramount says the Netflix offer will expose Warner Brothers shareholders to lengthy regulatory clearance processes with an uncertain outcome. On Friday, Netflix announced it was buying Warner Brothers in a deal worth reportedly $82.7 billion. When you think of Christmas, do you think trains? Still to come, all aboard. How one Canadian exhibit is exploring the magical connection between trains and the holiday season. Stick around for that. And a baby snow monkey sings snow for the first time. Stay with us.
Hey, it's Amy Spencer, and this week's Fresh Track brought to you by Fresh Sliced Pizza. New music from David Guetta, Tones and I, and Teddy Swims. This one is called Gone, Gone, Gone. This new song fuses powerful gospel soul vocals with David Guetta's signature dance pop sound. David was actually just named the world's #1 DJ by DJ Magazine for the 5th time in a row. As for Teddy, well, he's currently on his I've Tried Everything But Therapy tour. And Tones and I, you might remember from her 2019 hit, Dance Monkey. Listen for this track and all the best new music on Vancouver's #1 hit music station, 94.5 Virgin Radio.
This week's Fresh Track, brought to you by Fresh Slice Pizza. Fresh lives here.
Well, good morning from the Vancouver Aquarium, where we have spent the morning saying hello to the tens of thousands of animals that call the aquarium home. And of course, you can't leave the aquarium without stopping in at the gift shop, which we're doing here this morning with Aska. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Aska, we're standing in front of your utterly adorable section, which is, of course, a showstopper. Tell us about some of the toys you're holding.
Yeah, so otters are by far the most popular animals that we carry, and we have some sustainable plushies that we sell on the floor. We have sewn-in eyes, sewn-in nose, along with no nurdles inside the stuffy, which are many times plastic pellets.
Of course, and there's also a lot of great plastic-free options that folks can stop in and get. Tell me a little bit about some of the activities that people can do in the aquarium this time of year.
So this time of year, there is the Scuba Santa that's happening inside, along with even in the gift shop, you can take part in the toy drive, which is where you donate toys or you donate money so that we can donate plushies on your behalf.
Absolutely. Now, you were telling me earlier that the axolotl section of the gift shop is one of the most popular. Why is that?
Well, axolotls are pretty special to look at. Yeah. They only live in Mexico, and they've actually gained quite a bit of popularity over the years because they got featured in a popular game. Pink axolotls that we carry, it's actually designed by a local artist who used to work here.
Incredible. And now there's also, of course, a lot of stocking stuffers that people can grab on their way out of the gift shop. So tell us a little bit about some of the ideas that you think would be great for a holiday gift.
Yeah, so as you see in the tree right here, we do have the 2025 wooden ornament, along with smaller stuffy key rings and even little hats for stuffies that you can purchase.
I love it, and lots of different hats as I've been trying on this entire segment. So, Aska, I want to say thank you so much for having us here at the gift shop. Of course, we couldn't leave without saying thank you, so I'll give you this to cheers with me, and I'll take this one. I've had a great time here at the Vancouver Aquarium learning all about their holiday programming and, of course, all the great sustainable items that you can get on your way out. So head online right now to grab your tickets and make this a holiday stop this time of year. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you. Sounds like fun. Well, a warning now, this video may be too cute for you to handle. This is Taro, the snow monkey, seeing snow. That's Taro, seeing snow for the first time. So Taro was born in June, a time of year not known for snow, but he stuck close to his mom and got used to the weather and eventually warmed up to it. Snow monkeys. Yeah, they're supposed to like the snow, but Tara was a little leery at first there, and so cute.
So cute, but they are always so mischievous. They really are. But that is definitely the cutest monkey I've seen in a long time.
Very, very cute.
Yeah, at least someone likes the snow. I mean, yeah, we're excited for the snow. Come on, let's hold out for some snow for the holiday season. Right now, though, I can only tell you about heavy rain today coming in strong here for parts of the Lower Mainland. CTV weather is brought to you by Craftsman Collision, BC's leader in auto body repair. It's also going to be very windy and very mild as well. So temperature is going to be hitting about 13 degrees, which is unusually warm for this time of the year. It will be unusually wet as well, with now these rainfall warnings in place. So all the way towards Coquitlam, Maple Ridge, North Van, West Van, all the way up to Squamish to Whistler. We do have rainfall warnings in place, up to 70 millimeters of rain expected. You can see those heavy downpours out towards the Fraser Valley as we get into the evening hours as well. It will start to taper, will clear out tonight, so it'll be dry tonight and into your day tomorrow. We are expecting some sunny breaks. That next stormy system moves in tomorrow night. So we do have rounds of rain. We got a break tomorrow. We'll take that. We have multiple warnings in place. So for the BCPs, Fort Nelson, we're looking at up to 15 centimeters of snowfall. We've got rainfall warnings for the Central Coast, inland, coastal sections, up to 120 millimeters of rain. And now we have these wind statements in place for the interior region. We'll be seeing these guns with winds gusting out of the southwest to about 80 kilometers per hour. So get ready for a long stretch of days, wet weather ahead of us, but a little bit of a break tonight into tomorrow.
Well, the holiday season is officially on, and with Hanukkah starting December 14th and Christmas just 2.5 weeks away, we've got some shopping tips and gift ideas from designer and lifestyle expert Tamara Robbins-Griffith. Good morning, Tamara.
Morning, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. I'm feeling nice and calm just before the holidays because I feel like I've got my ducks in a row, but that's the first time I can really say that. I've been in the side of, society where it's like I'm rushing to the last minute, so you're gonna help us take care of those folks. Let's start off with decor.
Yes, I think like gifts, decor, when you get to this kind of crunch time, it's December, but it's not too late. Everything I have with me today, the gifts, the decor, it's all from Walmart. That's a great destination for all of your decor and every type of gift on any budget, all under one roof or click. And in some cases, you can even have gifts delivered like express delivery to your door in 2 hours or less. And don't forget to have fun. Put on some holiday music, have a hot drink, turn your task list into small moments that feel festive. And when it does come to that decor, like go for those big impact items.
Absolutely, yeah, pops of color, a little bit of extra pizzazz here and there. Now, next up, you have gift ideas. Let's start off with things for our little ones.
Yes, so my kids, which I go to them first because they're on my list. They love board games. They love video games. So I'm very excited about the mashup that is the new Tetris board game, which I was totally into as a kid. Of course, you can't go wrong with classic Lego sets. Teens are going to teen, and these days they all want tech. I think that's at the top of a lot of teen lists. I love the new Instax smartphone printer. I think it's a great way to take their digital memories and kind of bring them to life, have something tangible. And then lastly, for little kids, I think, you can't go wrong with Play-Doh or anything to do with Bluey. This is like such a runaway hit show. This is a little interactive learning toy called a Chatterbox, and he's so cute.
Love it. Yeah. So it's not just a toy, it's also an educational opportunity. That's a great gift idea
totally.
there. Lastly, you have gift ideas for any host that you're stopping by their home this holiday season, or even for yourself if you're hosting.
Yeah, and just people who love their homes and take pride in their homes or have had a renovation. So as a smaller hostess gift, I'm kind of obsessed and love these little ceramic houses. There's one behind me as well. And they're really kind of tuned into bigger trends in decor right now about warm neutrals and earth tones. But for somebody who loves spending time in the kitchen, I would definitely get them the Ninja Creamy ice cream maker. It is so much fun to experiment with. I'm always trying to think of how to either hide small appliances or select appliances that are pretty enough to leave out on the counter. So Drew Barrymore has a line called Beautiful. That's actually what it's called. And it is quite pretty, the pink espresso machine. So, I think that's they're great functional pieces, but they also look nice when they're left out on the counter.
Absolutely.
So I have the pink espresso maker with me and also a 6-quart creamy Dutch oven with the little gold handle on top. It's $80. I think that's a great deal for a gorgeous and quality piece that can go from oven to table and kind of just elevate your everyday living.
Tamara, lots of great gift ideas there. Thank you so much for your time with us this morning, and hopefully this puts a lot of people's minds at ease this time of year.
Right? Just have fun, get it done, holiday triage.
Good advice. Well, when you think Christmas, do you think trains? Still to come. All aboard how one Canadian exhibit is exploring the magical connection between trains and the holiday season.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
The Vatican's annual Concert with the Poor featured a Canadian icon. We'll take a look at that coming up after the break. Welcome back. BC-born singer Michael Bublé has performed for the Pope and the disadvantaged at the Vatican's annual Concert with the Poor.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
The concert aims to offer an experience of art and culture for the less fortunate, including those experiencing homelessness and migrants. A packed dinner and other comfort items were given out to the more than 3,000 guests. In Saskatchewan, people are exploring the best Christmas tree options at an annual event in one of the national parks. But it's not just about the holidays, CTV's Alison Bamford explains that perfect tree can also help reduce the risk of wildfires.
It's a trip the Barrett family makes every year. Trudging through the snow with their heads up.
There's like a few boulder spots, so that'll be against the window.
Hunting for the perfect Christmas tree.
That's the thing that makes this part hard, is because I have a very specific type of tree that I want in mind.
A search rooted in family tradition that they started 3 years ago.
25, 30 feet.
Volume, shape, and size are at the top of their wish list.
And being able to get it home on our little truck is another thing that's very important for us right now.
The public can harvest the trees from the Waskesiu Community Fuel Break, about 200 kilometers north of Saskatoon.
That's an area around Waskesiu where coniferous trees are removed, as they're more flammable than something like an aspen tree.
Officials say removing trees from the fuel break reduces the wildfire risk. This summer, Parks Canada issued pre-evacuation alerts for the area. Smoke blanketed the community as a nearby wildfire burned about 30 kilometers away.
In the event of a wildfire, having those trees thinned out would slow the speed of an approaching wildfire and help give time for the community to prepare.
And the Barretts appreciate giving back to a community they've grown to love.
Understanding the sort of the responsibility for the community management definitely gives us more confidence coming and doing this sort of thing, where we wouldn't typically want to disturb nature in this manner.
Last year, 160 trees were harvested before the holidays, but with the number of young trees in the area, officials say supply for the annual event will continue to grow.
As we're getting kids coming along here, we have a young girl coming in February. We're excited to keep the tradition sort of alive.
For many years to come. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Waskesiu.
Well, Toy Mountain has wrapped up, and it was another successful year, surpassing last year's totals. $93,000 was raised, and 9,500 toys were donated, all benefiting the Lower Mainland Christmas Bureau. CTV wants to thank everyone who donated, including our partners, sponsors, viewers, and listeners, for helping to make the holidays, for some families, a little bit brighter. That's the photo that we took at the very end, and it was just, there's so many toys. It's unbelievable.
It's so heartfelt. It is so amazing.
Love it. It was a great effort from everyone.
Yep. A lot of generous people out there.
Very.
Well, trains have long been a symbol of Christmas, creating a vision of the holiday season. Now, one Canadian exhibit is exploring the science behind them and their magical connection to this festive time of year. CTV's Garrett Berry reports.
For the young and the young at heart, there's just something about a model train that sparks the imagination.
People love miniatures. It allows you to kind of control a world, and the intricacies of models too, I think people find very interesting.
You may never have seen them quite like this on display at the Geo Center in St. John's.
I think I like the detail, and the artistic aspect of it is very interesting to me. I've always had a background in art, and I think this really facilitates that well.
For the collection's second year, staff at the Geo Center have added 5 new displays through their model train presentation, called Science in Motion. It takes months of planning to perfectly place these miniature versions, and all the effects that make the experience complete.
You get the volcano rumble, but more importantly, you get the volcano smoke. So kids love this one. We were having to refill the fog fluid more than we anticipated, because who doesn't love to make a bit of smoke, right?
You will also find a few science lessons along the way on friction, the steam engine, electrical circuits, and everything else that makes these machines tick.
Even down to the design and engineering of the wheels and how they stay on the track. So we created some interactives around those components. So hopefully, along with having fun and pressing buttons and seeing the train go around and making the volcano rumble, they're going to learn a bit of science as well.
It's been a small bump to the Science Center, which brings in about 50,000 people each year. And in this display, there's a lot of little somethings for parents and children to get on board with. Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
Wow, so much detail in those models.
It really is. I mean, these guys, they're so good at it, putting these together. And I mean, kids love them. Kids love them. We all love them.
I wish I had the space in my apartment to have like a little train.
You have it going around the top.
Yeah, I'm not an engineer. Maybe I'll get my boyfriend
in one of the stores in my community.
Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.